about 10 years ago.
Now, on a more serious note, the frustration levels must be rising for you. You missed a lot of footy.
Yeah, no, look, with a hammy, it's about the last thing you can carry, so I'll be ready to go next week, and look, just looking forward to seeing the boys put in a good performance today.
Nathan,
all right, you got,
Nathan, as captain...
Sorry, Croft game.
Yeah, hopefully you have a great game today. I know you've got a great record over there, but as captain, because you haven't been on the track lately, what have you been doing to get the confidence in the players, because they would be lacking it a bit at the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult, mate, when you're, as you know, when you're injured, you're a little bit segregated from the group. But look, you do your I've been doing my rehab and making sure that we get together as a group socially. You catch up for dinners, make sure that you're spending time away from the club as well as at the club. And we've remained pretty positive. We've focused on the things that we've had to, and our performance last week was a bit better than the weeks previous, and we're looking forward to continue that today.
All right, Nathan, well, let's have a look at the Port Adelaide lineup first of all. Shane Crawford, of course, joining us this afternoon. Shane, what's your observation there? What's the one thing that stands out?
Well, I think if you look at the Port Adelaide side, you normally look at Treadray, and I suppose Chad Corns has certainly gone up. He's been a sensational player for them. But Cochrane, Carr and Corns across the midsection there, you've got the wings, and they're on-ball players who get assigned run-with roles each week, and they continually do it. And I think for sides to come up against Port Adelaide these days, they really need to take these guys out of the game, show them more attention, because they do get under everyone's radar and they keep contributing week to week. Josh Carr, he's been a fantastic player. When he first came into the league, he was known as a real run-with tagger type, but now he's getting plenty of the ball himself. He was their best player last week, and he's averaging over 20 possessions a game and really contributing in a big way.
James?
Bucks, Josh Carr, of course, a player that you know plenty about, but talking about the Port lineup, TJ and Croft, Brogan is the big issue down here. He, of course, injured his ankle last week. The talk is that he won't play, but having said that, they've named him, so they're going to have another run with him this morning, we understand. And, well, Nathan, have you heard any word on Big Dean Brogan, or whether he's going to line up?
No, we haven't got the call from Mark to say whether Dean's playing or not, but look, you've got to take them as selected and wait till half an hour before to see if there are any changes.
Well, James, I can just see the players in the background there just jumping on the bus, and how are they looking?
Looking very, very smooth, the Collingwood boys. They, of course, have an imposing record at Amy Stadium. Not many clubs you can say that about from Melbourne. Your team played very nice football here. Seem to rise to the occasion, Bucks.
Yeah, it's we've got an even sort of performance when we've come here before from the 22 players that have taken the field, and we believe that that's the way that we need to play to beat Port. You need to have a contribution from everyone, and it's not a matter of who's playing, it's a matter of how we go about it. And our accountability is definitely going to be something we need to focus on.
Well, Shane, Alan Didak last week against Essendon was absolutely inspirational. In particular, one of his efforts, which was an absolute screamer, wasn't it, which we'll see in a tick, I'm sure.
He's that type of player. He can really lift the side. You know, he only has to get the ball 10 to 15 times throughout the game, but you know that he's going to contribute in a big way, whether it be by kicking goals or taking spectacular marks like he did. He really is a team lifter, and they need him performing consistently.
And I'm sure the skipper would concur there, Shane.
Yeah, no, Dids has been fantastic. Last week was a great return to form for him, and we're looking for that consistency to continue.
All right, no worries.
TJ, we've just got a monitor here, mate, that looks like the early TV back in the mid-60s. We can't see a thing. So sorry if this has all been a little staccato. Before we go from here, just one final question for you, Bucks. When are the two big superstars from Collingwood going to be back out on the track? I refer to your good self and Big Taz in the forward line.
We both should be back next week. Taz moved very well at training yesterday, Friday, and I think he'll be right for the Carlton match also.
All right, boys, that's it from us.
All right, good on you. James Brayshaw and the Collingwood captain, Nathan Buckley, of course, sitting it out today. Let's have a look at the telecast times for this game, because it is going to be an absolute cracker. And in Melbourne, 3:45 this afternoon, we'll be beaming live. And then in Adelaide, 3:15. As I say, it's going to be an absolute beauty. All right, let's head back down to Skilled Stadium now, and that's where we find our boundary reporter, Michael Roberts. Any late news for us, Michael?
Thanks, Tony. Suburban footy, that's for sure. Adelaide have just gone into the rooms, and Geelong have just come out. Adelaide have been out here for quite a while, trying to familiarise themselves with conditions. Wind, rain, actually a little bit of shine at the moment, but no change to the Adelaide side. On the interchange, Matthew Bode, Ben Hudson, James Gallagher and Nathan Bock. But an important change at Geelong. Peter Riccardi is out of the side. Some say it's a a groin injury. Some say he's carrying a bit of a back ailment, but they decided to be a bit of a pinch hitter off at the interchange. They've decided to rest him for a week, and Charlie Gardner comes into the side. So Charlie Gardner starts on the interchange. David Johnson, Gary Ablett and James Raleigh are on the interchange for Geelong, but Peter Riccardi out of the Geelong side.
All right, good on you. Thanks for that, Michael. And not a good hair day down there for Michael at Skilled Stadium, Croft.
No, it looks like he's wearing a wig.
Well, yeah, he's not. Let's not start those rumours. It's all his own. All right, well, I can tell you, keep laughing, because this is by far one of the segments of the season in the AFL. Get ready. Billy's bloopers.
We're only 6 rounds in, but already it's been a massive year in footy. We've had Olympic champions, larger-than-life fans, and even US presidents. Let's head up north to Brisbane and the goal umpires. Not only have the Lions got salary cap concessions, but it seems they have introduced the near enough is good enough rule as well. Leafel doesn't have a problem with it, though. Take a look at sneaky Digby Morell.
Hiding behind the goalpost, Digby Morell.
What's going on with the tosses this year? We've had the old handshake pull-away. We've had the lost coins.
Someone's forgotten to bring a coin out.
What about Effie? This toss lasted longer than Greeks on the roof.
Oh, stop that.
Now, I've heard of lace out on the chest, but I'm not sure lace out on the chin will catch on. Big Luke Darcy gave us the best Malcolm Blight impersonation ever. It's the big stick star, the big ones, mate. Now, I know the footy field can be a dangerous place, but with friends like these, who needs enemies? Cop that, Chico. Guess who's going home in the back of a DV van? Nice one, Snyder man. Now, it's not often you see this, folks. A farmer talking to his animals. You'd think at least Spider would know the birdie dance by now. Sorry, Josh. This pretty much sums up Collingwood's season so far. Slip, slip, gliding away. What's going on here? Lines in a refrigerated truck. Which one of you guys is the paddle pop line? You think the Richmond supporters are bad. The Power fans really know how to give their players a spray. And to finish on, what about golden boy Jimmy Hurd? That's why we've come to the footy. Good on you, Jim Bob.
Tonight on The Block,
All's fair in love and real estate.
the battle between upstairs and downstairs comes to a head.
I've got all my bathroom stuff.
Is someone going to come down clean it?
Our 4 savvy couples are getting down.
Mate, I'll tell you now, Monique's not happy, man.
Dirty
Smell.
and desperate.
Business is business.
What am I going to do, lie? Yeah.
But the toughest battle is the one that makes headlines. When Freedom presents The Block tonight on 9.
I've just scratched a brand new Holden Astra convertible. I've told no one, especially my husband. I don't know what he'll say when he finds out.
There are 6 free Holdens to be scratched when you play Scratch, Match and Drive. Buy a $10 Scratch, Match and Drive pack and you'll get $10 worth of instant scratchies, plus 3 bonus Scratch, Match and Drive tickets. Scratch a number plate that matches one on the official poster and you win that car.
Keys, please.
I scratched it. It's mine.
So, Scratch, Match and Drive.
Thinking of a transportable home? Then have another look at the range, the quality, the inspiration behind all steel transportable homes. Designed and built for Australian conditions, all with the strength and peace of mind of steel frame construction. All steel transportable homes.
I'm Nostradamus. You must be Mitch. Yeah.
The Solara, it's absolutely packed full of features.
I knew you'd say that.
Sports mode auto.
I know.
Front and side airbags.
I know.
Climate control.
I know.
Power windows and cruise control.
Really? Only joking.
I know. Alloys.
I know.
Rear spoiler.
That'll be
$29,990.
Good night at the dish leakers.
It's history in the making with the feature pack Solara for $29,990. See your Mitsubishi dealer yesterday.
La Cava.
Want overseas holiday? Well, there's one destination that's not only within your budget, it is within your state, Kangaroo Island. And right now, book 3 nights or more, and your car travels always with you at half price. Oui, 50% of the regular car fare with a Sea-Link ferry to KI. For your next overseas holiday, call Sea-Link on 131301.
John Waters is John Lennon in the new Looking Through a Glass Onion.
We weren't there to please anybody's sensibilities. We were there to challenge them.
John Waters and his orchestra delivered John Lennon every night.
Superb.
Amazing.
Undescribable. We have to come and see it.
The legend of Lennon lives on through word and music, a story for all ages. This is a unique experience. Book now at Bass.
Hi, I'm Brendan Bowl and I'm here with Andrew Walker, the new superstar down at Optus Oval. Andrew, how did it feel to run out for the Blues on Saturday?
Yeah, it was a really big thrill for me running out alongside yourself and players like Lappin and Campriali, and hopefully I can have another 200 more of them.
High ball, centre wing, over top, almost a terrific mark by the youngster.
You almost took a big, massive specky on the weekend. Do you like taking screamers?
I love taking screamers.
You're spewing, you didn't mark it?
Yeah, I shattered.
Your one-handed pickup over there on the centre-half forward, Andrew, was a bit true to life?
Yeah, I wasn't really focusing on the one-handed pickup. I was mainly focusing on the hard chase and the...
Who did that?
You did that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was good scenes here on Saturday. I think the whole Richard Pratt stand was chanting Walker. We haven't seen that since David Beckham was down at Real Madrid.
Yeah, I was really good. I was happy that I could stir the crowd up a little bit.
Well, what do you think of Dennis Pagan? Well, he loves me. Does he talk to you much?
Well, I hope he'd love me more, but
he might love you a bit more after the weekend.
He's a great bloke. To help me all the way through it.
Beautiful. We look forward to you gracing the field again this week and hopefully for a lot more games.
Thanks, Bren.
Great stuff. Good to see him laughing again down there at Optus Oval. And why not? Winners are grinners. Well, with thanks to the National Bank and Magnavox, young Andrew Walker there will be taking delivery of this magnificent Magnavox television featuring a 68-centimetre pure flat screen. And now if you're watching at home and you'd like to win one of these, it is also easy. Just tell us what number Andrew Walker wears on his jumper. So what number Andrew Walker wears on his jumper. SMS the jumper number, not SOS. That's a bit of a clue there, Croft, if you know what I mean. SMS the jumper number to 1881109. That's 1881109. Or if you'd like to phone it through on 1902 553 109 and simply follow the prompts. Today's competition closes at around 6 o'clock and we have that Magnavox TV set to give away to a lucky viewer each week. So make sure you're watching the Sunday Footy Show for your chance to win. Go on, jump on those phones. Not yet, when we take an ad break. But the Rising Star, I mean, it really has become... well, secondary only to the Brownlow, really, in terms of prestige, hasn't it?
Yeah, all the players, all the young players coming through that get nominated, they see it as a huge honour and, I think it's a great thing for football.
And you, of course, were one of the nominees in the inaugural year back in '93. And just very quickly, talk us the class of '93.
Yeah, had players like David Neitz, Buckley, who won it that year, Mercedes and Mercury from Essendon was ongoing. I think Michael Voss might have been in there
Yeah,
as
I think he might have been too, yeah.
Peter Everett. Yeah, it was a pretty good list that came out, and you'll think most of those guys will go on and have pretty good careers.
Well, it's just amazing from the Melbourne point of view that after only 5 rounds of season 2004, they've already had 2 nominees for the Rising Star. Of course, Aaron Davey and Jared River, and that would just make the coach, Neil Danaher, feel all that little better about the way season 2004 is travelling as we join the coach on the boundary there at the MCG now. How are you, Neil?
Tony, how are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Well, they're all important games, and this one no exception today.
Nah, big game at the G Sunday. Melbourne supporters, we've got a lot of Sunday games, so we want them to come out. Should be a ripper. There's quite a few Carlton supporters here at the moment. The conditions are pretty good. I think the rain will stay away, so it should be a great game. So if you're sitting there at the moment, get down to the G and get behind the team.
Neil, I'm sure they'll get there, don't worry about that. But the turnaround from round 1, where the team was a bit flat, to now, where the team's flying along, what's been the biggest change you've done at the training and with the whole thing?
Oh, no, we sort of kept it as it was. I think round 1 was a very poor day for us, but our form up onto them, our Wizard Cup form has been really good, so we just saw it as an aberration, and we continue to do what we have been doing, and we've turned it around.
And one player that's really impressed me over the last few weeks is Brad Green. He's so important to the Melbourne side. He started the season slow with the first round, but ever since then, he's taken it all before him.
Look, he's been in great form in the midfield, and he was tagged early last week, and we moved him forward, and he kicked 2 and set up another one that helped us turn around the game in the second quarter. So he's got some flexibility in his game, whether in the midfield or close to goal. He's a very dangerous player.
All right, Neil, let's take a look at the Melbourne lineup now. And while we've got you there, well, we don't need to explain to you what the ins and outs are, but I suppose one of the more significant is the return of Russell Robertson.
Yeah, look, Russell had 1 week off with a suspension. Very important to us, best and fairest winner. He's capable of kicking some inspiring goals, and he just adds to our mix of players we've got in our forward line. Look, David Neitz is in super form, but we need other blokes to be playing well, and Russell comes in, and another headache for Carlton today, hopefully.
Yeah, it's very important that Melbourne play direct, straight down to David Neitz. That seems to be their best style of play. Do you think, Neil?
Yeah, look, no doubt about that. And we've got Benny Holland down there as well. Brad Miller's improving with each game, and Aaron Davey, and look, Peter Vardy is not far off. So we think we've got a potent forward line, and the best way to give them their best opportunity is to get in there quickly.
Well, Neil, you tackled the Blues today, as you say. This is the Carlton lineup, and I suppose, as opposed to last year, with all due respect to the class of 2003, there's some real bright spots for the Blues in this one.
Yeah, that's why it'd be a great game. We had a look at our game against them last year, and I think there's probably eight or 10 players, different faces, different names. So last year for both clubs are beyond us, and all we can do is move forward. And look, Carlton have been fantastic, and that's why it'd be a ripping game here today. They've really improved. They're playing with a lot of confidence. So are we, and it should be a great game.
Have you thought about Anthony Koutafidis much? Do you think he'll have a big impact on the game today, or do you think he'll just start on the interchange bench and work his way into it?
I think Croft, if he's going to play, they'll start him on the ground. I guess we just have to wait and see whether Big Cooter's playing today or not. There's some whisper that he won't play, but we'll see the team list about 40 minutes before the game. But hopefully he does play. We want all our champions out there playing. It's great for supporters of Carlton, and we want to beat Carlton with their best team in.
And as a coach, it must be a great situation you're in at the moment, because Sandringham are doing very well. So there's great depth coming through, so a great future for Melbourne.
Yeah, and as you know, Croft, it's not always like that. It's a long season. No doubt we're going to have times where we're carrying a lot of injuries, but right now we haven't got too many, so we've got to make sure that we get up and win these sort of games, because during the course of the year, there's going to be times where, even like last year, we might have 8 players out. So, you know, very important game for both teams today.
All right, good on you, Neil. We really appreciate your time this afternoon. As you say, plenty of seats at the MCG, so if you are a Demon fan watching at home, jump in the Range Rover and head down there. No, I shouldn't say that, Neil, but...
You say that, Tony.
Sorry, mate.
I'll come through that screen and throttle you, mate. No, they're all right, our mob, and we need them down here. They were very passionate against Port Adelaide last time we played, and that sort of passion we want to see down here today.
And record membership too, you were saying?
Yeah, look, we're going well in all areas, Tone, but we can get better, both on the field and off the field.
All right, great stuff. Well, once again, all the best for this afternoon, and thanks for joining us, Neil. Neil Danaher, the Melbourne coach, joining us there from the MCG. All right, don't forget the Carlton Premiership Ball's coming up very, very shortly, and that's on at the Crown Palladium on Saturday, May the 8th, which is, that would be next Saturday night, would it, Shane, just before Mother's Day?
Yes, very important to get along and support your clubs, so it'll be a great night there for the Carlton side.
All right, tickets are $130, details on the Carlton website there. All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, a little bit more before we head to our first of the matches today, and that, of course, is Geelong and Adelaide. Stay with us. You're watching the Sunday Footy Show.
The scariest predator known to man.
So here's the deal, Uncle Charlie. I find you attractive. I'm at the peak of my sexuality, and I have a 3-hour window Wednesday nights when the kids are at Taekwondo.
The single mother.
Great! You broke him.
2.5 Men, 8 o'clock Monday on 9.
Who could forget the 80s? The hottest bands. The coolest hair. And the hits that came out of nowhere.
Time Life presents Edge of the 80s. Flashback to the decade that spawned these unique sounds and gave rise to the alternative music of artists such as ABC, Thompson Twins, Eurythmics, Thomas Dolby, and many more. Start your collection now by calling 1300-887-007 to order your first double CD, 1982 to 83, packed with 30 classic hits. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a bonus double CD, 1984 to 85, absolutely free. But that's not all. Call within the next 10 minutes and we'll cut $10 off the price. Pay by credit card and receive a bonus double CD free. That's 2 double CDs for only $19.95. Then audition other great CDs in the Edge of the 80s collection. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. Remember, this collection is not available in absolutely free. That's almost $60 value for only $19.95. Call 1300-887-007 now.
Darling, are you going to the gym?
Oh, it's too hard. No time to keep fit? Visit Fitness Warehouse. Their range of home fitness equipment and helpful advice will get you exercising when it suits you. If you have the commitment, we have the equipment.
Look inside this front-load European Whirlpool washer from Truscott's and you'll find the very best price around. Only $799. And only from Truscott's. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
It's a who's who of Sex and the City. Don't they know who you are? With guest stars David Duchovny. He kissed you goodnight. Jerry Halliwell. And Blair Underwood. All new Sex and the City. Monday on 9.
Now I can forget the vacuous world of fashion. Now I can heal the sick, not dress the rich. From now on, you can call me Hank Bolger, MD. This means that my baby sister is Houston's daughter, which makes him my uncle. This is going to make buying Christmas cards impossible. Damn you, Houston Crab! Damn you and your demon seed!
Well, what do you got to say for yourself?
Yeah, I'm guilty.
Yeah, guilty of what? Guilty of being a showman, and you do it pretty well. It's,
guilty of enjoying all.
Yeah. Is that what it's all about? I mean, I think it's fair to say that, like, from a journalist's point of view, football has become such a drama these days. You know what I mean? Like, rarely a week goes by where we don't have a scandal of some sort, and rarely do you actually get to do just a nuts and bolts training story. Do you think it's important for blokes like you to let everyone know that you can still have a little bit of fun with footy?
Yeah, I definitely still have a bit of fun, but with all those things, you know, I'm pretty passionate about them.
Yeah.
And I see a future with myself after football as well. So if I can do something that I'm passionate about and I enjoy, and I can make a living out of it as well, why wouldn't you do it?
What's the likelihood, though, that you can sort of take that further? Because I just need to ask you, are you trying to be a bad actor, or is it like, no, that's a takeoff, of course, isn't it? You're a good actor.
Yes, that's right. I'm a good actor trying to make it look bad.
Yeah.
But no, we have a bit of fun there, but I think with footballers these days, they really do need something else in their lives because there's such a huge focus on the football side of things.
Yeah.
And I think what a lot of people seem to forget, you can't dedicate yourself 24 hours a day to football. You go, you train, you put everything into it, but then you need that mental release. And for me, that's, you know, doing what I do. So that gives me a great release. It switches me off from football, and I think it gives me a good combination with it all.
And you're dabbling a little bit too with the postcards program, so that's another opportunity to see a serious side of Shane Crawford. Not a serious side, but a, you know, sort of a less comedic side.
Yeah, I don't want to be too serious, but...
well, what are you doing? What sort of stories are you doing on postcards?
We sort of just more adventure type stories throughout Victoria, but with the footy season being on now, I don't get a great deal of time off, so I can't get a great deal done. But, you know, with all that, what a lot of people seem to forget is that while I'm playing football at the top level, I'm dedicating myself solely for football to get myself the best I can possibly be and to perform at the best level. Whereas I do have hours in the day where I don't have anything on, so that's where I do put time and effort into these other areas.
What's one of the downsides, like the biggest downside to being someone who can't walk down the street without someone knowing, or you need to, when you're out in public, you need to watch your P's and Q's and all that sort of stuff? What's the real downside to all that?
Probably the media attention and the focus that comes with that. But that's part and parcel with what you do these days. And, I like to think I'm pretty accessible and I'm pretty easy to get along with and easy to talk to. But, at times it does affect your family and friends, and that probably disappoints me the most, where they hear rumours and stories and certain things when you don't know where they come from, but all of a sudden they're out there and you just have to deal with it that way.
All right, we'll probably hear more about that in Shane Crawford Exposed, isn't it, which is coming up?
It hasn't been titled yet, but yeah, we did a doco last year.
Shane Crawford Exposed.
Well, it's got a name now, but last year we had a camera follow me for the whole year.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do with that is pretty much show the real side to football and to things away from football.
Yeah, right.
And it turned out to be a bit of an adventure with the year, because we started slow and then got better as the season went on, and I was criticised a lot for doing things away from football. So I think there's quite a bit there, and hopefully it'll give everyone a better understanding, not just to me, but just to the AFL football in general.
All right, we look forward to that. Okay, we also look forward to round 6, concluding today with 3 matches. 2 of them are ours, and then, of course, the first one, which we're heading to real shortly, is Geelong and Adelaide at Skilled Stadium. The good news there is that the Learjet has landed. Gary Lyon and Billy Brownless have arrived at Skilled Stadium. Brian Taylor is Austin A40, still at around Little River somewhere. But anyway, 1 o'clock, we're heading there very shortly. And then it's Port Adelaide and Collingwood at Amy Stadium. The third match today, of course, highlights in news, is Carlton-Melbourne. Your 3 tips, very, very quickly. Port Adelaide, Collingwood?
Yes. Collingwood, upset.
Geelong, Adelaide?
Geelong.
And Carlton, Melbourne?
And Melbourne.
All right, no worries at all. All right, Shane, it's been great catching up with you today. Good luck for the Hawkers. I have a feeling we might be down at Glenferrie through the week. You've been watching the Sunday Footy Show. Bye for now.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
The Sunday Footy Show, brought to you by new Garnier Fructus Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. Give your hair the strength to shine.
He's persuasive.
You want to have a go, don't you?
Persistent.
You're going to go for the $1 million?
So how far will Eddie go to move $1 million?
You tear up $64,000.
He's full of surprises. Millionaire, 8:30 Monday on 9.
It's the scandal that made the headlines on The Block tonight. Then after 60 Minutes, Michael Douglas stars in the premiere of Don't Say a Word.
2004 Toyota AFL Premiership season, brought to you by our telecast sponsors, Primus Telecom. Chartered Accountants, employ our thinking. Radio Rentals, now big in furniture. Amy, lucky you're with Amy. Keno, win it by the minute. And Toyota, oh, what a feeling.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Skilled Stadium down in Geelong. Round 6 action continues this afternoon. It is Adelaide. They had opened their account last week with a big win against the Tigers, 75 points up against the home team. The Geelong Footy Club, 13th position on the ladder, had one win. Were very brave in defeat last week against Freo. As I say, good afternoon to Dwayne Russell. Big day for the Geelong Footy Club.
It is their first real home game for the year, and tough windy conditions here, and luckily your chopper got here okay, Gary.
Oh yes, our chopper did. Brian Taylor will be with us shortly, just limping down the highway at the moment, and a clapped out old motorbike, but he will be here, as is Gary Ayres, who's here. He's ready to go. He's down on the boundary with Michael Roberts.
Thanks, Gary, and Gary, let's walk, because we've got real suburban footy here. We've got high wind, might get some rain, might even get some hail off the Antarctic.
Well, you never know, mate. I always thought you were a pretty good weatherman, so I'll trust your word for it. But yeah, she's going to be a dirty day, but both sides have got to play in it, so she's going to be pretty basic footy, I'd imagine.
Now, you'd like to put two together, 2 wins together. You haven't done it for a while. What's the message? What's the plan today?
Keep it pretty simple. Expect the unexpected. And obviously, if you're going to be with the wind, use it a bit longer. You're actually going to be working into it. You just got to work into it as far as running a bit harder.
Now, Peter Riccardi's out of the Geelong side. Tends to bob up against Adelaide. He's a bit of a bonus being out.
Yeah, well, obviously we've just got to take advantage if that's the case. So he kicked 3 last week against Fremantle. He's a really good player, but look, someone else will come in. I think it's young Charlie Gardner, so we just got to make sure that every player that plays today from a Geelong point of view is kept quiet.
Now we're walking out to the umpires. We're going to greet them, shake their hand, and press the flesh with the opposition coach. Good thing or a bad thing before the game?
Oh, look, I think it's a good thing, mate. And if I do it, you never know, you might get a couple of free kicks.
Always thinking, Gary. Good luck.
Thanks, Mick.
Roberts, pretty relaxed, Gary is. It can happen after you open your account with a 75-point victory.
You can, and he knows how to play these conditions here, having coached here for quite a while, and he's got 1 or 2 players that know this ground fairly well as well. Some great experienced names in that lineup, regardless of where they are on the ladder.
Yeah, there certainly is. There's some premiership experience in there, some exciting younger talent that is starting to emerge for the Adelaide Crows. There's also a group, a second-tier group of players that have been around for long enough now. They need to stand up and take some of the slack and some of the pressure off McLeod and Rashuda, and they did last week. Perry was great at centre-half back, Burton a quality midfielder, and Ken McGregor kicked 5 goals just roaming across half forward. So I think the Adelaide Footy Club will be well pleased with the development of these middle-rung players.
And they're going to find these conditions from the members' grandstand. They're going to have to attack, and if you're going to defend, it's the opposite side of the ground, the Moorabool Street wing, because the breeze is blowing straight across the ground, and you can see it just blowing their jumpers in the breeze as they're having shots at goal, and that is the stiff flag blowing across the ground.
Yes, and there'll be some young Geelong footballers also playing here, perhaps for the first time in senior colours, who will, well, they'll learn a bit about football, no longer in the pristine conditions of the Telstra Dome, for instance. They are classy. They've got 10 games under their belt. Brent Maloney, tell me a little bit about him.
Well, Brent Maloney is sort of a local, played with the Falcons. Kane Tenace is another one with speed. He's the ace in number 10, Tenace. And Andrew Mackey, they picked him out of virtually playing school football in Adelaide, and he was a surprise early selection by Geelong, and they have got speed in the midfield for the first time in a while, the Cats, which is one of the reasons that they're saying that they might be able to push their way into the 8 this year, and still they've got the experience on the other end. Benny Graham's important. His 200th game for them this afternoon. They need him to stand up. And Scarlett and Harley are 2 of well, they're just as good as any key defenders in the league.
They are indeed. All-Australian Matthew Scarlett, who's perhaps not started as well as he did last year, but you know how good a footballer he is. Harley underrated in lots of circles, I think, outside of Geelong. Sanderson, of course, has been around for a long, long time. You suspect you'll get Ronnie Burns there, Dwayne, and Milburn can go forward at a pinch if needed as well. So they have been around long enough. There's some experience there. No excuses today for Geelong.
There are no excuses, and they might have a bit of trouble running through this banner. Just a little bit of tape being added because of the breezy conditions here at Skilled Stadium. But look, it's a very, very important game for both these teams, and we expect it to be hotly contested.
Looking forward to it enormously, as would be one man who runs out for his 200th game this afternoon. It is nice that it is happening in front of his hometown crowd. His name is Ben Graham, and Ben, we congratulate you.
The poor little mice, so broken, yet so brave.
Hello? Again, Mum. Again?
the terrible accident,
I'm looking forward to knowing that my girls are okay.
the heartache, and the hope.
Yeah, Daddy's got you.
Can you reach with the other arm?
For the first time on television,
They gave us the option of letting her go.
Sophie and Molly. Their story.
We rewrite the dreams.
Toyota presents 60 Minutes tonight.
I'm single. I'm female. I'm underpaid. So me get a home loan? Sure. Well, that's what I thought. Until I was smart enough to ring Homestart.
If you want a home loan, it's worth ringing them and see what they can do.
I can't hear you, darling.
Homestart. That's smart.
Don't try this without new Garnier Fructus Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. Garnier Fructus with active fruit concentrate. Now tackles dandruff head on. It's proven. In just 3 washes, Garnier Fructus acts to eliminate dandruff. Not a trace of a flake. Garnier Fructus. Give your hair the strength to shine. And no more dandruff.
Need more space? The Carnival V6, now from $29,990, drive away.
Need extra cash to cover this month's bills or extra spending money this weekend? Why not get an instant cash loan against your quality unwanted goods? Cash Converters provides a real alternative. No fuss loans with less hassle and less paperwork. Just show 100 points of ID to the friendly Cash Converters loan staff and you'll be on your way with convenient instant cash. Instant cash loans at Cash Converters. Just another reason to visit your nearest Cash Converters store.
For more choice and the lowest prices, Bunnings Warehouse is right up your street. Little Buddy's Roses, a bargain at $2.99. 150-watt halogen work light, $8.96. Huge King Ruggerlow, $59.95. Brazier, great value at $29.95. Polytarp, just $1.99. And we have how-to workshops every weekend. We won't be beaten on price. And that's a promise.
Bunnings Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Who is this? We have your daughter.
Your child has been taken, and to get her back,
You have a patient. She has a 6-digit number. I need that number.
you'll have to confront your greatest fear.
He's got my little girl.
Michael Douglas, Sean Bean, and Brittany Murphy.
They're gonna kill my little girl.
Eddie, please come get me now.
For the first heart-stopping time.
Is it a code? No. Is it a place? No. What is it?
Don't say a word.
I'll never tell.
Premieres 8:30 tonight on 9.
And here he is, Ben Graham, the man of the moment today here at Geelong. The local boy grew up in Leopold, 10 kilometres outside of the city of Geelong, played all his junior footy here, and now today celebrates 200 games with his young family. The banner a little worse for wear, there's a little bit of weather around, and another man that might be a bit worse for wear. He's just gone up the highway. I wouldn't have it any other way. I sit with him for 6 hours every Sunday. Brian Taylor. Hey, Barge.
Good afternoon, Gaz. Yes, the helicopter swooped me as I was driving down the highway, but nevertheless, I put up with it. And Benny Graham, his whole career has been a bit of a storm, really. It's been up and down, and congratulations to him on getting to what is a milestone of 200 games. It's one that's certainly treasured by the players involved. First time Adelaide have been unchanged for the year this year, Gary. I'm looking forward to it.
And that is good news for the Adelaide Crows. Of course, had a big victory on Friday night against the Tigers. 75 points. Can they do it again? I'm not sure it'll be that great a margin. Michael Roberts is down on the boundary.
Thanks, Gary. And a nice little touch here when Gary Ayres ran off the ground, saw Peter Riccardi in the race, shook hands, and as we know, Peter Riccardi not playing today. Conditions, well, straight off the Antarctic Bass Strait, this stuff blowing from the member side across the ground. Players are going to find it pretty difficult. I tell you what, the umpires have been out here rehearsing the opening bounce. I tell you, if the players are going to find difficulty in their skills, the umpires, the ball is going everywhere, so they're going to have to be on their guard today, I tell you.
Thank you, Michael. We hope it doesn't rain for the game's sake, but we'd love to see you get drenched throughout the course of this afternoon. Dwayne Russell and Brian Taylor
are your callers this afternoon. The players are out in position, ready for the bounce of the ball.
Carey tried to fool everybody by going to full forward and now has wandered out to centre half forward, and Scarlett has followed him. The opening bounce to start this game between two teams who want to lift themselves from the lower rungs on the ladder. Clark and Mooney go at each other. Stengline kick smothered. Rashudo kick smothered. Dowdy kick to Massey. They'll get it away. Rashudo wobbly kick, and we'll see a few of those. Ronnie Burns knows the ground and the conditions here well, having spent a long time playing for the Cats. And he might be able to make it from there with the breeze. He goes with a pop-up pass just out of the reach. A chance here for a little handball out in the direction of Massey. Got the handball out but couldn't find a teammate. Push in the back, and no free kick given to Milburn. And we'll get a ball up. Look, Jericho had an opportunity and missed it, and Ling
That is not a good
injured early.
sign. Not a good sign at all, Dwayne. Just have a look here. He does, he hurts his arm. Just gets caught in between Mooney and also Dowdy, I reckon, and he's off the ground.
See a player holding the wrist like that as he departs is not a good sign, as you say, Gary. Trying to pick the ball up on that occasion was Johnson. Quickly out of the pack, Tenace. Juggling marked attempts. So Geelong, they will go forward for the first time in this game, and they go very wide and find a man in play fair. Short ball. Ordinary kicking attempt there by the Cats. Edwards has got it all to do. Chapman's in there having a crack. And Henschel about the place as well, and we'll have a ball up at half forward.
Cameron Ling going up the race right in front of us here. Left hand, left wrist, I would imagine, and it is not a good sign. We're not doctors, but it is not a good sign at all.
Mooney and Clark did it well, the latter, getting it down there to Begley, who's one of those players, Dwayne, that has improved. The 20 to 50 game players, I think, for Adelaide have improved this year, the likes of Begley and Dowdy and Gallagher. Ooh.
And the Cats could say a few about theirs as well, as Clark goes up in the ruck, knocks to Rashudo. Caught Johnson, good tackle. And we will get another ball up with Mooney doing the ruck work for the Cats. Kennedy, Run and Schmidt, the umpires. Mooney played in a premiership with the Kangaroos in just his 11th and final game for the Roos. And he jostles for position with Clark, and finally we'll get a bounce. And it was a shocker. Henschel caught. Kelly for the Cats, caught. Good tackle. How will the umpire see it? He goes ball. Free kick for the Crows.
Said he made no attempt. Thought he had a few hanging off him, but doesn't matter. Stengline, Rashudo, fiddling around at the back there. Henschel eventually gets the kick into Burton, and he'll mark uncontested on centre wing. This win will be really important to Geelong's fortunes in the first quarter, as Burton bangs it up towards half forward. Clark was in position. Hunt went without the ball, and eventually Stevens came through for Adelaide and was tackled and went nowhere.
It'll take a while. I reckon it'll take half of the first quarter for these players to work out this breeze and where it's pushing and just where they need to position themselves.
It's not just strong, it's fluky, isn't it?
It is all around the shop, all over the shop at the moment.
Sanderson, Wojcinski in there, working hard. Corey picked it up. Handball in hope more than anything else. Stevens was there again for Adelaide, couldn't win it. Kelly extracts, couldn't go on with it. Burns, good evasive skills. Massey, handball missed him. So Burns said, I'll go and get my own ball. At half forward, ordinary kick. Tough conditions. Milburn down the middle for the Cats.
We don't see this at Telstra Dome. From defence, Maloney spears the pass. The 200 game up. Benny Graham's got it. Leeds come. Long kick. Kingsley the target. Hands to it. Bassett. Good second effort. Did he try and get rid of it? The umpire says he'll ball it up. Chapman not happy.
Nice to get a touch early too for Ben Graham. He probably, you can almost say, a quality forward should be hanging on to them.
Ball up. Bassett trying to break through again, and again can't get rid of it. McLeod. Begley. Long kick towards McGregor on the wing. Cutting off Kelly. Did he hold it long enough? The umpire said yes.
Gee, a little fortunate, I would have thought.
Yep, I agree, Gary. Inboard. Finds this man who bangs it forward in Maloney. Long ball to the square. Graham at the back, couldn't mark. Was getting some support there from Haynes, and neither could win it. Boundary throw in deep. Geelong attacking 50.
Good carry on that kick. Some of the matchups, Wojcinski and Johncock, that'll be exciting to watch. Corey and Burton too. I hope Joel Corey's ready to run and run and run, because Brett Burton certainly does.
Perry, last time he played in this game, 3 Brownlow votes he got against the Cats round 10 here last year. He'll be hoping he can repeat that. I had the ball up, or I thought it was, but in the end the umpires played a free kick, and it'll go the Crows' way in the back pocket.
Doughty. Drop punt to the outer side wing. Clark flies, can't bring the mark down. Johncock caught by 2 Cats. Corey comes up with it, dishes out a handball close to the boundary line. Henschel, Milburn, boundary umpire will get a ball in. Yet to score both teams, and we've played more than 5 minutes opening term.
Put Michael Roberts on notice here. Graham and Perry, that'll be interesting. I just want Robbo to tell me which end is being favoured most by the Breeze, because both ends, both kicks have carried a long, long way.
Yeah, it depends where you're standing, Gary, but it tends to be pushing, as I said, from the members across the ground. Pretty difficult to kick the ball.
Play fair to Maloney, and that's how difficult it is. Maloney's kick ended up with Bassett, and he dishes off to McLeod, and the Crows away.
Low ball out wide, and that's affected by the wind, and I think that's the pocket and the flank that the wind is pushing to, so really slightly advantaging Geelong.
The edge hit down to the Hickey stand end. I mean, that flag would suggest it's probably going across the ground. I'm not sure, Brian. I think we'll just call it. Let it unfold as the afternoon progresses.
It's brisk, whichever way. In their Stenglide, Burton, socks off the ground, the fittest player on the Crows list. Picked up in the end by Stenglide. He gets it off to Rashid. Skipper banging the ball inside 50. In fact, it was Jericho, and Jericho is marked. About 45 metres out directly in front. We'll get a really good feel of the condition here that we think is kicking slightly into the wind, and perhaps this kick will travel a little left or right. Jericho, one of the new young forwards for the Crows, comes in 45 metres out distance, no problem. Look at the bend in the ball. A lot of bend in that, Gary, and the minor score, the first for the Crows.
He called it beautifully there, Brian. Massive left to right swing on this. Got some talent, Jericho. One of the players they've unearthed and unveiled in the past couple of weeks, Adelaide.
He and Bock, the future of the Adelaide forward line.
Stevens, another Scott Stevens, impressive.
Milburn took a while to kick in, and in the end went to Scarlett, and all they've done is commit to one side of the ground. It would be dangerous to come to the open side. They might just stick to the dead wing, and they do. Long, high kick. And marked by Burton. Ball flew past the pack, and Burton, the bird man, read it well. 4th for him. Wobbles it inside 50. Again, that ball hits a brick wall and drops, and the mark has been taken by Scott Stevens.
Well, Dwayne, as soon as they went short, you're right, they had to play safe and go to that dead side of the ground, but that's where all of the Adelaide tools set themselves up. I mean, if we could read it, they certainly could. And they pumped it back inside. I just think you've got to take a lot of this short game out today and go long at most opportunities.
Originally from WA, Slow-Mo was his nickname when he was younger, and Slow-Mo kicks across the face, only a behind, and we might see a few of those this afternoon.
Yeah, he got put off by the kick before, I think, and he allowed too much.
He kicked it flat and hard and low, and we just went dead straight. Brian, a little bit of protection, perhaps.
It's a good theory, Gary. Why don't they do that all day today and keep it below? Hunt from fullback. He kicks it low and hard. Finds Sanderson. Kelly goes wide to the wing. So the Geelong with a bit of build-up there, but the kick in the end just a little offline, and we'll have a boundary throw-in on centre wing. Good look at one of the young players there for the Cats in Mackie. Exciting player from Glenelg, South Australia. Boundary throw-in. Mooney, one of the real rough nuts of the AFL. Kelly, ball dropped short, so he went and got it. Massey gathers around the body, unorthodox looking spin on the ball, and Kelly.
So they're on the attacking wing, Geelong, but Adelaide getting players back, filling all the holes. James Kelly goes with a long high kick. Play fair the target at half forward with Graham. Burton virtually hacks it high. Tenace the flyer, and good effort in front by Massey. Rashudo. Another wobbly, difficult ball to mark. Oh, that's a ripper from Scott Stevens. To take that in the hands shows some brilliance. The kick not so good, although it might be okay. Carey almost got there. Little flick up, handball. Hunt under immense pressure. Carey lays the tackle and asks the question and gets a no. It'll be a ball up.
Cameron Ling back out, running along the boundary line. He's got the left elbow very heavily strapped. Might have just hyperextended it. It's good news and a good sign that he's back out there.
Ace a bit sore from that contest as well. Knocks to Burns. Sanderson trying to tackle. The evasive skills of Burns better. Bangs it forward. Carey, gee, I'm looking forward to see how he plays today. Was tackled by Scarlett. Got the handball off. Stevens around the body, across the face. Or is it a goal? I think it might be there. It is. A goal for Adelaide.
Seven seats, with a third row that folds flat under the floor for maximum cargo space. Advanced 172 kilowatt V6 VVT-I engine. Vehicle stability control. Traction control. Introducing the all-new Toyota Kluger all-wheel drive, the ultimate crossover. Where you take it is up to you.
Back, it's becoming a bit of a common thread. He's got Ben Haynes. We saw it with Wayne Campbell and Shane Crawford on Friday night. The good players at half-back.
Mooney and Clark to go at it again. Ball favoured Clark, and he gets the takeaway in the end as well. High inside 50. Stevens on fire at the moment. The ball following him. And it rolls out of play just in front of him as he gets a little bump across the line, and we will get a ball in. Bought his mum soap on a rope for Mother's Day. It's the best he's ever bought her. It's Mother's Day next Sunday. She might be looking for an improvement this year. Ball back into play. Mooney and Clark. Clark knocks it down towards Burns. He'll get the handball out. Sanderson, but it was a dangerous handball. Shuffled by Stengline to Burton. Now Doughty wobbles it inside 50. It's a dropping ball. Fists come. Just big hip and shoulder on Jericho. Ball hacked clear. And Mooney might get the Cats out of trouble.
Does it nicely, Cam Mooney. A real aggressive approach, but the kick's ordinary. And Burton is getting a lot of it in this game already. He has had 6 disposals. Might have been his 7th. Kick to half forward. Rashudo trapped it nicely. Waited for it to bounce. Left foot kick. Was looking for McGregor, but getting in the way, Tom Harley. Harley, short ball. Tentative, wasn't he? Chapman. Around a couple. Handball to Milburn, always under pressure. Now Sanderson. Got time. Drives it long. That's going to be the order of the day if you're kicking right up screen today. In the end, the Cats try and stamp their authority on this forward thrust. To no avail. Edwards will hold it up at ground level. And I've heard a lot about Wayne Carey this year, and the reason I'm looking forward to seeing him play is I haven't seen him play live, Gary, and there's a lot of talk that he's not getting enough of it, and he may even give it away during the year. And I see how he performs today.
Bounce on the pot of the square, half forward. Johnson for the Cats, thumped it down, but Edwards gets the clearance. High kick. Big fly with Chinsky. Staying down was John Cox, took the good option. Spears the pass to Ronnie Burns. Gets there in time, takes the mark.
Now this from here, long to the goal square would be the preferred option. You won't hit targets lace out, just get it into Carey.
Chips it towards the man you were talking about, Carey. Carey can't half volley it.
Well, that doesn't work, Dwayne on a day like this. You know, short into the pocket. From there, he was going to be a less than even money chance of kicking a goal had he marked it. Just go to the top of the square, get a strong contest, get your crummers lined up.
Boundary throw in. Adelaide 10 inside 50s to Geelong 3, and they're kicking into the win. So already they're doing better than we expected. Kick, Jericho under it. The back hunt. Took a rest marking it. Stephen Crumbs got his second.
The energy market's getting tough. Things are changing. We need an edge.
Well, let's look at the options.
Do you have the most rigorously trained accountant guiding your business? No one is better qualified than a chartered accountant to take your business in the right direction.
When would you like to start?
Start right now.
Chartered accountants. Employ our thinking.
Only 2 goals of the afternoon. Kick by Stevens. Mooney jumps in hard. Going to get the clearance. He does. Wobbly kick off the boot of Kelly towards half forward. Bouncing ball. Mackey. Haynes. Good movement this, finally, from the Cats. Maloney. Long, high kick that's punched in the breeze, and the mark's been taken by Ben Graham. Wants to play on. Wants to run around. Still looking. Cats are yet to score. And maybe
Maloney here. Maloney's inside 50 on his own. You can just see his hands up in the middle of the ground. Now he gets picked up.
Well, he would have kicked 1,000 at training from here.
He's got to go very close to the man on the mark here.
He's going for the check side or the banana. Call it what you like. Did he bend it? Like Beckham. First one for the Cats.
Radio Rentals is making a big splash! You can buy now and pay no interest until 2007. Buy a new TV, plasma or LCD TV and pay no interest until 2007. Splash out on a new computer and pay no interest until 2007. And get a dishwasher with a bonus dinner set or a new fridge and pay no interest until 2007. Dive into SA's biggest electrical retailer and pay no interest until 2007. Now that's big!
So the 200 gamer, Ben Graham, kicking his first goal.
Now, just an apology to David Haynes. It is not Ben Haynes, Brian. I called him Ben earlier. He was involved in that bit of play.
You're excused.
Thank you.
8 1/4 remaining in the quarter. Geelong have got the wind, we think, or we know. Not directly to their face of goal, but certainly to their forward pocket. In the middle, Ling was off early with that elbow injury. He's back out there now. Great sign because they need him in the midfield. And we'll have a ball up centre of the ground. Shell Stadium.
Again, the jury's out on the breeze. I tend to think maybe it's favouring Adelaide's end.
Might even be skilled these days. Can't keep up with it. Mooney fighting against Hudson. Kelly. Stengline eventually got it out with a kick. Onto his boot, just looking to gain some territory. Wazinski tried to run through the wall. Not successful. Raleigh will stop it going any further. Stevens on the bottom.
Brett Burton's been picked up early by Joel Corey, and he's been terrific, Burton. You've mentioned him. 7 possessions, 3 clearances. Joel Corey just the one handball.
Hudson wraps his arms around Mooney and had a bit of his jumper up. Umpire said it was okay. And a massive pack forms with Stengline helping Maloney to the bottom of the pack. In fact, it's Raleigh, who started on the bench and is now into the action.
Ling gone to Burton now as a result of his early start, big start to this game.
Hudson knocks it to the back. Stengline. Kelly caught him high. Umpires saw it. Adelaide 3 half-forward flank. The dead flank. Chips it over the top. Burton takes the mark. Too far out to score from there. Goes to the top of the square, the danger spot. Ball drops. Harley got hands on it. Milburn might seek the sanctuary of the boundary line here. Ling crunched again. Holds the ball in. We'll get a ball up.
Ronnie Burns becomes important. Has to work really hard to get to those drop of the balls. They've got Jericho, they've got McGregor, they've got Carey, and Stevens are all going to go and try and mark the footy. They need a crummer.
Hudson involved there. Had 3 cracks at it. Kelly gets to his feet with strength, tries to just bullock his way out of a difficult situation. James Kelly has been one of the consistent players for the Cats. 4 games this year, this being his 5th. Ball up, attacking 50 for Adelaide. Hudson again, beautiful palm down. Once again, Gary, when the players are getting a free drive inside 50 from a free kick or mark, they're trying to finesse it in rather than just kick it to the square and make it happen.
Exactly.
Hudson straight to his opponent in Mooney. It's a real scrap out there at the moment. Hudson, Sanderson attacks. This looks positive. Cats, poor kick. Mark in the middle, McLeod.
Short pass option is on. McLeod wants to go longer. Carey calls it long. And McLeod pops it up in the Carey direction. McGregor's there as well. No one can mark it. Riley crumbs. And Milburn virtually helps Riley hold it in.
It was better too. They had both Burns and John Cock that set themselves at the front of that pack for that crumb, so maybe the Crows, the pennies dropped here.
Massive players around this ball up. Mooney got palm to it. And it's held it again. And we get another bounce. We might hit the bounce record this afternoon. You don't see these conditions in AFL all that often anymore. David Johnson giving the ball back to the umpire.
20 metres from the Crows' goal. They lead it by 8 points. Kelly again, as he's so often been in this first quarter, on the bottom. Umpire to bounce it. 15 metres out. Mooney, fresh air. Hudson, John Cock. Scrap, free kick going the Adelaide's way. Too high, said the umpire, and it will go to John Cock. Only about 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Gee, they become valuable, don't they? On a day when goals are going to be very hard to come by. Oh, I'm not sure. I tend to agree with the effects we're picking up. It was a bit harsh on the tackler.
John Cock lines up for goal number 12 for he for the year. In he comes, 25 metres, needs to kick it hard and low. Didn't. Stuck it out, left, hoping for a bit of swing in the air. You can't have it both ways. Minor score.
Straight to the interchange bench too. Bock comes on, and Gary Ablett has also come on for his first run, gone to the goal square for the Geelong Footy Club.
Hunt to bring it in from full back, and they say he can kick the ball as far as Ben Graham.
What?
Well, I'm just telling you what they say. He'll chip it short now. There you go.
Very nice.
That's a good 75 to 80 metres. Clark thumps it towards the boundary line, and Rashudo, can he keep it alive? No, we'll get a ball in. Not a bad option just to get it out of the area.
No, for sure, and it was a lovely kick too. You wouldn't fill around on a day like this where the tendency may be to miss a target.
Clark trying to work Playfair under the ball. Geelong fans happy they've got one. Ling on his favoured side, driving ball, Graham the target. Perry worked him under the ball very nicely. Smart defenders will do that today with such a strong wind pushing the ball long. You've only got to be able to hold your body position and it will go over the top. Boundary throw in half forward for the Cats. Low scoring first quarter, 3 1/4 minutes left in it. And just the 3 goals kicked so far. 9-point lead Adelaide. Clark tumbles, Ling goes in. And get the feeling umpires will start plucking free kicks soon to try and open the game up.
31st stoppage of this quarter, Brian, which is an extraordinarily high number. We usually average around the 12 to 18 mark. 31st from our statistician.
Ball still on the dead side of the ground. Edwards kicks it high. Sanderson was there. Ball knocked away from him, but he might be first to go back and get it. Tackle laid by Jericho. Ball comes to Mackey. He can go long with a drop punt pass. Toward attacking. 50 and getting there. Haynes couldn't mark it. McLeod in defence. Gives it to Burton. And they're out of trouble. Bouncing ball might find the line. It does. But now we're on the attacking wing, so a clearance from this ball in would be very valuable.
Boundary throw in.
Maloney about to come off the ground for Geelong, no one to come on, so he runs back into the field of battle.
Geelong runner is very confused. If we get a shot of that, he's not quite sure what's going on. Free kicks Geelong's way.
It's Andrew Buse. He's not normally one that's confused on a footy field.
The walkie-talkie plugged into those ears as well. Have a look at that in a moment. Edwards marks strongly at half-back. There he is sitting down there with the earphones and had the walkie-talkie in hand. Kelly allowed to go on the ground with one of those, of course. Ling has marked the ball 55 metres out, driving ball. Kingsley on the lead. Bassett there. Kingsley did well.
Free kick.
Oh!
So don't argue out on the Bassett.
Got him high, he said, Gary. Wow. Justin Smith. Got him on the throat, he said. You could see him.
We'll show a replay of that shortly. Bassett comes to the attacking side to Massey, who was free for a while. The Cats expected him to go to the dead side. Massey received the ball. Possession number 4 for him.
Got Clark down the line. They should go to him. He's supposed to play there.
Henschel wants to slide into it.
just looking for the loose man all the time. They just have to realise that today is a different sort of a day.
Goes wide, back to Massey. Ball swings. Hunt gets there, crunches him, but he takes the mark, the ex-Blue. And they're working the ball down this wing nicely.
They are indeed staying very close to the boundary line. It's the attacking side of the ground at Briley for both ends. Up they fly. Burns sort of half went at it in the air. Majinski driven into the ground. Nothing. Cats fans are becoming a little frustrated here today. Let's have a look at this one down in the goal square, the Kingsley Bassett. See if there was a free kick there. Oh, look, it was a half, a quarter of a don't argue. And that, oh, wow. This is why, oh, I'm not going to say anything, Gary. Hunt gathers out of the action here. Playfair gets it long. Pretty ugly-looking kick. Nevertheless, gained 30. Burton, who's been superb in this first quarter. Bundled over the ball in an aggressive tackle by Joel Corey.
So maybe a chance for one last Geelong score here. That's a good tackle by Corey, given that he had an operation on that shoulder after being crunched by Michael Voss, hip and shoulder. 10 seconds remaining. Ball comes to Ling. Cats might get a free kick here. No, they won't. It'll go Adelaide's way. And that'll just about do us for this opening term. Adelaide 7 free kicks, Geelong 2, and the natives are restless at Skilled Stadium.
Great suburban football. It is back. It is going to open at some stage. The heavens are going to open. As Dwayne says, the natives are a little restless. So's Kent Kingsley. He's still got the frown. He's got the furrowed brow. He would have had a certain shot at goal. I guess when you've had a bit of a lean quarter, he hasn't touched the footy, and you got it in your hands, Brian, you do get a bit narky. But as we go to the quarter-time break, it is the Crows, 2-3-15. Geelong, 1 goal straight, 6.
One of the world's top tennis players narrowly escapes death in a hotel fire. Tougher security after dangerous vandalism on the Oban, and the fallout from both the Crows and the Port Power clashes.
The terrible accident,
I'm looking forward to knowing that my girls are okay.
the heartache and the hope.
Can you reach with the other arm?
For the first time on television.
Hello?
Molly and Sophie. Their story. Tonight on 60 Minutes.
If you're ready for change is out to get you. Now it's time for you to rearrange what to do is change. Yeah, change.
Oh, hey, Mark, is it true you're being sold? Yeah, that's right. Rumour has it they're selling you for $2. $2? Apparently there's several interested buyers. Yeah, well, for $2 you'd hope so.
Buy your kids an AFL Captain for $2. Grab the official 2004 AFL Captain's Medallion album, free with a token from the Sunday Mail this weekend. Then keep collecting all 16 captains.
It's got to be worth more than $2.
My husband and I have 5 children. It's an awful lot of kids in this day and age, isn't it? But we're committed. We're going to keep trying till we get one we like. But I have become, with 5 kids, very good at home-cooked meals. Particularly hearty home-cooked soup. I bring it home and I cook it. Very special.
Nice one, Home.
The QEH Research Foundation Home Lottery is here. Act quickly to get your ticket on this incredible early bird prize, a 2004 Porsche Boxster. Only tickets purchased prior to the 17th of June early bird deadline are eligible to win the Porsche Early Bird Prize. If all tickets are sold by the deadline, then all draws, including the 2 grand prize show homes, will be made early. Proceeds support medical research for South Australians. Get your ticket today.
Quick! He's coming! Line up, guys! You've been popular too if you were giving your small business mates rates, like the Baltic Falls Courier 4x2, just $14,990, save over $4,500, and big savings on performance utes like XR6, XR6 Turbo and XR8. Mates rates on all like commercials at your Ford dealer now.
In 2004, CSI Miami ER. Channel 9 has the best shows on the planet. Friends, McLeod's Daughters, Without a Trace, the big dramas, the best events, Survivor, The Block. Now, we're about to play our trump card.
It's not personal, it's business. Shut up!
Feast your eyes on the next big thing. The Apprentice, all new, Tuesday, 9:30 on 9.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by Toyota, Primus Telecom, and Chartered Accountants.
Well, we're back to Skilled Stadium. A little toe poke from Ben Graham sent the football out of the ground. He has been the only goal scorer for the Geelong Footy Club. They are 1 goal straight 6, and Adelaide 2 goals 3-15, and Scott Stevens, the man there with 2 goals. Interesting here as we have a look at the statistics, boys. The clearances are the one we've got our eyes on. Adelaide Footy Club winning and winning handsomely. 18 clearances to 6, hit-outs 18-5. Geelong have got averaging the least hit-outs in the competition, 14 less than last year. Of course, no King, no Peter Street as backup. There's Kent Kingsley, got a little animated just on the quarter-time break. One man that's always animated is Michael Roberts, who's down on the boundary. Robbo?
Thanks, Gary. Very confusing win, depending where you're standing, but standing in the middle, talking to the umpires, it's actually going into the forward pocket, down to... well, left of screen, pushing into that forward pocket, so a real advantage there. As high wind, absolutely unbelievable. Now, Cameron Ling was hit heavily just below the elbow on the fleshy part, but he's okay. And the communication breakdown, one of the lines inside, so the earpiece is going down on the Geelong bench.
Thank you, Michael. A little confused early with that breeze, as we all are, but we suspect it may be going to the left of screen as Dwayne Russell picks up the second quarter.
Only the 3 goals kicked in the opening term, and accuracy is going to be paramount. Clark back in the ruck for Adelaide. Against him is Mooney. Stengline kick smothered. Kelly, Massey. They might get it out eventually. Stengline gives to Burton. What was the ball towards Burns at half forward? Can't gather. Riley's with him. He shrugs. Riley gives to Downey. Could be the perfect start for Adelaide. A miss. And Lear behind, and the wind doesn't affect the low kicks at that end as much, with that big Hickey stand as a shield.
Hunt to bang it back into play. A bigger kick than
the biggest in
Ben
the
Graham.
league, I believe, now.
Says Dwayne Russell. But a force 3 hurricane behind the kick we measured him on. But nevertheless, we'll keep an eye on him, Dwayne. Ling goes very wide to the man in question out there, Graham. Mackie got a foot to it. Happy to see the line. Boundary throw in. There's just the 3 goals kicked in that first quarter. Burton was very good. Stevens was good up forward for Adelaide, and Kelly was a good contributor for the Cats in the midfield. Clark by himself. Massey through a bit of traffic. Graham could have gone long. Wanted to go short and finesse. Ling.
Great effort.
It was. Kept the eye on the ball, Gary. Round the body, long. It's going to bounce between them, so this will open it up for the Cats. Edwards got it all in front of him. Mackie pursuing. Did really well, the youngster Andrew Mackie. Umpire's penalised for throwing out, or has he let it go? He let it go. Chapman's got it, so the Cats scrounge one.
Looks like the car insurance is due again.
With Amy, good drivers on a rating 1 can qualify to keep it for life. Guaranteed. And you get the security of an agreed value at no extra cost. And when your partner or children join, family savings apply sooner.
I think we need a new gardener. If your comprehensive car insurance doesn't offer this, get lucky and switch to Amy.
It's an unorthodox kind of day. Cats have both their goals from bananas. Bounce. Ball knocked down almost by Clark to Mooney, his opposite ruckman. And they might be content to have yet another ball up in the middle.
Geelong forward set up. It's got Chapman in the goal square with Kingsley. They've got Haynes about 20 metres out. They've got Ben Graham 35 metres out. And Andrew Mackie just lurking around.
He is a goal-a-game player, Chapman. 57 games, 50 goals. Ling held by Doughty. And the ball going nowhere.
The other end, the Crows, Jericho's in the goal square. Carey alongside him. John Cock and Ronnie Burns, the crummers. Stevens and McGregor, the taller targets out at half forward.
There's the effort by Mackie to produce that goal for Chapman, and there he is again. Handball wide, Maloney stamping his authority on that contest. Burton. Oh, Rashudo, ball out wide. Stengblein's got it, and I think he may finish with it. He does indeed. Gets it inboard, Doughty. Come to the side a few weeks ago for Bode, I think it was. Kicked to McGregor at half forward. Knocked down. Sanderson under enormous pressure. Still got rid of it to Mooney. Mooney it was. Raleigh wide. Cats, Kelly. Need to drive it long. Kelly again, another opportunity. Long ball. Out comes Haynes. Tries to attack it. Missed it completely in the end. And McLeod clears.
To Rashudo, wide, the old firm combining, and Massey has had a lot of the leather this afternoon. 9th possession for him. Pumps it long and high for Clark. Got up high, couldn't bring the ball down. Now a chance for Ronnie Burns. Weaves a bit of magic, kicks inside 50. Hunt just got a spoil away on Jericho. Umpire said it was a legal spoil. The King! It's the post. Only a behind. That's his first kick of the afternoon, and he was nearly batting 100%.
It's a good jump, Matty Clark. Never looked like marking it, but a very good jump. Here he is.
Hunt can bang it. Long goes with a measured kick. Risky it was. Kelly looking for support, had to knock it to himself. Kept it going. He's done well for 1-on-2, Kelly. Did really well. John Cock. Support arrived a little late for him.
Well, he just saved Joshua Hunt's backside, because the kick effectively was to a 3-on-1. I mean, you have to be right on the money. Well, we know he can kick at 90 to 95 metres. The touch just wasn't there at the minute.
The temptation to get it onto the attacking side, Gary. Maloney with the bounce. And the helicopter ball. Mackie. Is he close enough to score? Gives it to the left-footed Ling. He runs loose. Lines him up. Cats have hit the front.
Holden Rodeo DX 4x2 cab chassis. Only $14,990 until June 30. And Rodeo 4x4 DX Turbo Diesel Cab Chassis. Just $25,990. The Holden Workforce Range.
Cats in front for the first time this afternoon. They've kicked the last 3 goals, and the local boy, another redhead from St. Joseph's, Cameron Ling, puts them in the lead. One of the Brownlow medalists gets the ball out of the middle. Rashudo towards Carey. Ball eluded him. Little handball by Hunt. Good for Scarlett. They've got some confidence now, the Cats. Harley chips the ball wide. Little push. Is that a free kick? Umpire says play on advantage. Milburn with arrogance out of defence. Wobbly ball towards half forward. Kingsley, Bassett, Ablett, Burton. Burton's in front. He's got the speed. And he finds the boundary line. He'll be content with that ball in.
The defence is holding up nicely for the Cats now. We've certainly got Scarlett on top of Carey and Harley. Well on top of last week's hero, Ken McGregor. McGregor just had the 1 kick. So have a look at the top possession winners. Was it there for the Adelaide Crows?
Clark, Doughty, Long, Sanderson and John Cock. Knocked it forward, lucky not to give away the free kick there. John Cock, Kelly clever, although it was at his defensive end, and that was almost a scoop, but he's lucky. Raleigh's got a free kick for a drive in the back at half back.
Well, the Crows have just got to find a way of locking this ball in their forward line and at least giving themselves an opportunity to, at worst, trap it in there, force the ball up, let themselves set up. It's just rebounding that quickly.
James Raleigh, Warrnambool boy, at half back, about 2 hours down the road from where we are at the moment. Sanderson, really one of the leaders on the back line for the Cats. Needs to move it long and needs to move it in the line that he's on because they've got the attacking position on the right side now. Falls short, they're going to have to go. Bassett dropped the mark, he probably should have taken. Milburn, a real scrapper. Got it to Kelly, who's getting plenty of it in this game. Ablett, one-on-one out there with Begley. Ablett got pushed off a little too easily. In comes the stronger Chapman. Now he finds a bit of space for Ablett. He takes Edwards on, wants to go underneath him. And we'll have a ball up.
Free kick against Chapman.
And umpire got it. May have just got a little caught up with himself on that occasion.
As they often do. Long kick towards the wing. Milburn flies. Did he have enough of it? Now there's a free kick downfield here. So Chapman's given away 2 free kicks in this string of play.
Well, you can be disappointed with a free kick. You just cannot let your team down by giving away a cheap one like that.
Stevens, long, Carey, lurking, paddles it, Johnson, Carey, boundary line, Scarlett, toe poke, Raleigh, Milburn, Massey, Milburn does well, and Wojcinski with speed. One of the quick midfielders the Cats now have goes to Kingsley.
Probably too far out to score from there. Got to kick at 55, his first touch. Kent Kingsley coming in the second quarter. The Cats have kicked the last 3.
We've got no tall in the square. Ben Graham needs to work his way down to the goal square to at least give himself an opportunity to contest. Kent falls short.
Kent Kingsley knew he couldn't kick it. The short ball to Haynes, who has very strong hands and marks. He plays on, centering ball to Ling. A little further out, but straighten the angle up somewhat. And Cameron Ling will line up for his second goal of the quarter. See the left elbow heavily strapped there. Happened in the first 2 minutes of the game. We thought he'd done some real damage, but courageously he's back out there playing in some discomfort. From 50 metres out, he allows for the win. It draws back nicely. Ling's got 2 in a row. Cats have got 4 in a row.
So what, your boots set you back?
About 80 bucks.
Could have bought new ones for that.
Been paid out lately? Keno, with over 400 payouts per hour, you could win it by the minute.
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also fertilise your garden. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
The last 2 goals of the game to Cameron Ling, now starting to blossom. This is his 5th year on the Cats list. 71st game. Playfair in the ruck. Kelly caught. And Bode makes sure Kelly's going nowhere. Another ball up.
In the middle of the ground, Cats, as Michael Roberts pointed out at quarter time, now have a bit of breeze at their back, so thus the 3 goals. Wojcinski really stood there and copped everything that came his way. Ended up with the ball. In the end, it's Stevens, who got a couple. For Adelaide early, kick long at Harley.
He's on fire. Brian, he's on fire. McGregor, 1 possession to this stage of the game. No marks, just the 1 kick.
Harley started his career wearing number 37, now wears 2, and could finish his career wearing number 1. He is a good leader, Tom Harley. Now, Scarlett was given a free kick, even though Harley marked it. Long kick towards Milburn, 2-on-1. Burton and Massey v Milburn, and the 2 might win here. They do. Burton, wave to play on. Goes with a drop punt, pass inside 50, and getting there to take the mark, Joshua Hunt. Scarlett. And the man who's kicked the last 2 goals, Cameron Ling.
Gets it further on, Hunt again. Followed up his good work from deep in defence, and look at that low-burning ball. Mackie really should have taken it in the hands, then Bassett wouldn't have been able to punch it away. Short ball, as Ling did just there.
He's having a big influence too, this man, Cameron Ling.
Getting plenty of it, 8 possessions already, this being his 9th. Kick driving up the line, good attacking position for the Cats. Graham bust the pack open, Playfair went without it. Graham, handball while falling down. Mackie, we know he can produce the goods, he's got a bit of class. Overkicked it, Haynes will grab it, good hands needed. Sold a bit of dummy there. Kelly gathers. What will he do? Bang it long. One-on-one contest. Good opportunity here for the Cats. Through went Chapman. Handball went nowhere. Bode. And the Crows out of trouble.
The shooter gets on the end of the handball from Massey, and now Bock started on the bench. From the wing, high kick, McGregor the target, Harley with him, he's beating McGregor at the moment, Riley the crumb. They want to stay the attacking side, the Cats. Sanderson, players in the middle free. Playfair is one of them, Chapman's the other. Chapman says, come on, get going. Touches it on the deck, looks up for a pass option. Goes with Chapman wide. They may mess this up. Bode has caused the turnover with a tackle. Gallagher, Clark, Bode, and now on the rebound, now a big chance here. Long kick by Stevens. Henschel!
Too clever in the middle of the ground, Chapman. Too clever, trying to draw the opponents, trying to free someone up. And the Bode tackle in the second and third effort was terrific. Forced a turnover. You just got to get busy. Clark's had one touch. Edwards, McGregor, Johncock, Perry yet to touch the ball this quarter. They need to find some of the footy.
From the territory, just his 4th game, Trent Henschel, and it will take a pretty big kick into the teeth of that wind. Right. But as we said, the Hickey stand does shelter it slightly.
It's got to keep it low then, Dwayne.
Yep. And a big kick this to stop the Cats' momentum. Puts it up in the air. It swings with that breeze, and he has kicked a behind.
So a real opportunity missed there from the Crows as the Cats just tried to do a little too much when they had a nice ball in the midfield. Maloney receiving the kick in. Flash white and blue boots on there. Out wide, Harley, as Gary said, on fire. Really playing well in defence.
Another thing you have to do when the wind is like this is it's fundamental, but you have to watch the ball. Really watch where the ball is. It's going to drop short, react quick.
Cats by a goal. Loose ball at the back. Massey will gather and give. Stenblind off the step, found Burton. Looks to move it quickly. Little chip over the top to Johncock. Now we can run into goal from here. Marks inside 50. Handball over the top. Here they go. Little boy there is Gallagher. Gallagher lines him up and nails it.
So, I'm in the middle of nowhere. And bang! A snake jumps out and hits me. So I reckon I'm an hour from town, with half an hour to get there, and the country's as rough as guts. 5 minutes in, things start getting weird. I could feel the poison pumping through my body. My head was all over the place. Lucky the cruiser wasn't. In anything else, I would have been stuffed.
8 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in this second term, and the Crows have hit back their first goal since the 13-minute mark of the opening term, and you can see how long left in this one. Bounce. Tackle by Tenace. Ling, who kicked 2 quick goals to give the Cats the lead. Kicks toward Mackie. Chapman off the deck. Rolls it inside 50. McLeod, the 2-time Norm Smith medalist, showed a bit of poise there, under pressure in defence. Begley, long kick, swings wide on the breeze, and getting there, Riley wants to play on immediately, goes for the long kick, but no one home. Edwards, just.
Perry's been moved to centre-half forward, McGregor to centre-half back. That's a fair feather in the cap of Tom Harley, who now goes to Ian Perry.
Kick to kick at the moment on that outer wing. Edwards waits. Goes short. Stenblind marks. Crows just building in momentum ever so slightly in the last couple of moments. Edwards transfers play to the attacking side. They've got it where they want it now, McGregor. Needs to go straight down the line from here, and then the next one can straighten. Long ball, Perry should mark, doesn't. Harley there again, gets the job done. Ling, he's not preferred side, found Graham, turned McGregor around, took a bounce to rub it in. Long ball, Ablett, one out, couldn't mark. Recovery brilliant, left foot, hasn't got the legs. McLeod will run it down, or will he? Behind.
Gary Ablett still looks like he needs another month of good footy into those legs, doesn't he? He just doesn't quite have the strength and match hardness to stand his ground. He'll always have some creative brilliance, but just does not seem to be all that fit.
Now, that's almost a jump ball. The mark's been paid, though, to Hudson. Playfair doesn't complain too much. He plays fair. Hudson half-back. Massey has had a good first half. We're ticking the time on here, second term. Bassett, high kick. Burton can fly. Perry's with him. Neither goes up. Perry, back of the pack. Tenace runs him down. Handball in the John Cock direction. Well played. Plucked it from nowhere and kicks across the face. In fact, it's off the hands of Henschel and we'll get a ball in.
Well, I'll be upset with that, Josh Hunt. It's a point less.
1 point ball game, 6 minutes remaining in the half. Scarlett and Kerry to go at it. Neither really had a crack at it. John Cock straightens on the left. Stevens just read it perfectly when the other three didn't.
It's an example of what I was saying earlier, Brian, is in conditions like this, you have to keep your eyes on the ball on all occasions because it does things that it doesn't normally do. And some of the, well, 3 of the 4 players all went back and headed deep to where they thought the ball was going to land. Stevens just watched it, marked almost unopposed.
Point blank range, 10 metres out directly in front. Stevens has kicked his third. Adelaide have got 2 in a row to hit the front.
Radio Rentals is making a big splash! The Big Wash sale is back at Radio Rentals with 3 big bonuses. Rent or buy any washing machine and get a bonus 3 months worth of Omo, plus a bonus set of towels, plus a minimum $100 trade-in on any working washer. Plus, you can buy now and pay no interest until 2007, but you can only dive into Radio Rentals' Big Wash sale for a limited time. Now that's big!
Crows looking at taking in a lead at the long break. And hit the front again. Playfair knocks it down to Stingline and they've got the momentum, Adelaide. Long kick inside 50. No one goes with a fly. Henschel gathers the crime. He's caught. He dropped it. Umpire saw it. Free kick to the strong, very strongly built Joshua Hunt.
Been effective in that last line, hasn't he? Short ball finds Gardner, who started the day on the bench today. Long grammar boy through the Sandringham under-18 system, which has been so effective in raising the young talent in this competition. Kicks. Mark has been taken in the end by Johnson. Plays on immediately. Here they go once again to catch. Tenace. A bounce. The left foot kick has to be perfect. It is. Haynes.
Lovely kick.
It was nice. He's got a bit of wind behind him. Will kick at 55. Put it into the square. Ablett. Enough might get there. And a minor score there. And Ablett, I think, wanted it to the edge of the square, Gary.
He did. He's the one-out target down there at the moment. His opponent, James Begley.
Yes, you could read his lips there. Please, next time, the top of the square would be nice. Begley. It's a long launch from full-back. Waiting at the back of the pack was Bock. It almost travelled to him, thumped to the boundary line in front of Ling. And we'll get a ball in.
Gary Ablett trying to pinch at late goal. Brett Burton has gone to the goal square for the Adelaide Crows. Bilburn, his opponent, just to see if he can't sneak one before the half-time siren. Just over 4 minutes.
Ball back into play, Hudson and Mooney. Mooney front spot. close to the boundary again, and Bode hits his opposite, number 10, Tenace. High kick, and a mark taken by McGregor. Hasn't had a big influence on the afternoon so far. Just his third possession. Drop punt is a long ball. The half-forward ball thumped clear. Gallagher, half-court. Ball slapped the Hunt. Over the top to Mooney, and the Cats might be away here.
On centre wing, handball back into Hunt. Around, Maloney it was in fact. Driving ball inside 50. Kingsley had his man beaten. Ablett was straight. Nails him. He's happy. Geelong are happy. The fans are happy.
If you're ready for change is out to get you. Now it's finally you to rearrange what to do. What to do is change. Yeah, change.
Gary Ablett Jr. He annoyed everybody as a young kid hanging around in those goals while his dad was training. He just annoyed Adelaide hanging around there then. Johnson. Handball to Sanderson. Now free kick here. And it'll come back. It's not paid downfield to advantage. Johnson was obviously dealt with after he handballed to Sanderson. Hunt. Well, it's over his head. Danger here for the Cats. He makes it look okay. He's strongly built. Gets caught. Got to kick away. Ablett again. Ball eludes him. Bouncing towards Kingsley. And he shuffled it through his legs. Edwards rolls into the goal square. Chapman can't keep it alive, and we'll get a ball in with less than 3 minutes remaining to half-time.
It's a little dangerous wobbling ball it was, though, wasn't it? It wasn't pretty, but it was always going to be a handful for the Adelaide defence.
Crows just need to regain their composure here. Finish off this last couple of minutes and not allow another goal. Bode takes it over the line. Headlines during the week in one of the papers over in Adelaide, Dwayne, the advertiser, is Gary Ayres the only person in Adelaide that thinks Matthew Bode can't play? What's he referring to there, Dwayne?
I'm not sure.
Not enough game time, I think, the Adelaide fans. It's the general consensus amongst them.
They were the headlines. Massey out of defence, lost it in flight. Corey, a bit of sun's creeping through here.
He obviously thinks he can play more than Mark Williams because they stole him from the power.
Exactly. Michael Roberts.
Andrew Mackie received a heavy blow in the stomach. He's been up into the changing rooms. He's back out now. A bit light-headed as well. Took a heavy knock.
Clark and Mooney side by side. Maloney and Stengline wait behind. Stengline, Tenace almost had it. Bode, where Angel's spear to tread, hasn't got a lot of room to work there to get the ball out. Can't build a ship in a bottle. And he'll have to dish it up with the umpire, and we'll get a ball up. Two minutes remaining to half-time. Big takeaway this. Massey's had an enormous half. Stengline back to Massey again, the 1-2. Long handball over the top to Bock, who drops it. And they drop him. Umpire said it was okay. It wasn't overzealous, that tackle. And he made a meal of that, Nathan Bock, but it is just his second game.
Minute 47, ticking down here. Cats have done well in this quarter. They've kicked 4 goals to Adelaide's 2. Clark gathers, retreats backward to try and gain a bit of time for Burton, which he does. He goes wide and finds his man out there. Crows now on the attack. Gallagher got a bit of pace. Ball inside 50. Carey the target. Got a few to beat. Has Wayne. 3 of them in picture. Corey, Scarlett, Perry's in there. Mooney's there. Crashing in Sanderson. McLeod gathers, but has gone over the boundary line. A minute left. Cats by 2 points.
Yes, and McLeod also. Burton's gone forward. McLeod just pushed forward too for the last couple of minutes of this. Try and pinch a goal before half-time. Spent the first quarter and 3 quarters at the half-back line, Andrew McLeod.
Sanderson with John Cock in the foreground, and Clark palms it over the back. But 10 ace, the ace in number 10, takes it away for the Cats. Goes wide towards Ablett, that one-on-one contest. Begley keeps the ball alive towards Massey. Ablett goes back in. They both lose their feet. Begley gets the kick away at Henschel, and they can reload with 45 seconds left on the clock.
Henschel at half-back. Can't afford to be cute with this. Dowdy through the middle. Now he can drive it long. That he does. Carey approaching John Cock. The ball fell short. Prosciutto overran it. Maloney. Scarlett combining. What a run. Split straight through the middle of them. Ordinary kick, wasn't it? Haynes had us all excited, Gary. This man will bang it long, you know that. Kingsley setting himself in. He comes. Really good stuff. Begley in front. And that might just about be it as we go to half-time. Cats by 2 points. Crows won't have time from here, I wouldn't have thought. Prosciutto wide. Bassett on that familiar left foot, and that is it. Cats by 2 points at half-time. Did well. Ling got a couple in the quarter, Gary. Chapman and Ablett got one apiece, and Adelaide got 2 goals, and there is young Gary Ablett.
Just came up holding his right hand after 1 or 2 terrific efforts on the outer wing. Oh, look, you wouldn't imagine that this will get blown out of the water, this game, by any stretch. It's going to be an arm wrestle. The conditions are tough. Goals at a premium. Right now, it's the Cats by 2 points at half-time against the Crows.
Slightly bruised and broken from our head on collision. I've never seen this side of you. Another tragic case of feeling bruised and broken from our head on collision. I've never seen this side of you. Another tragic case. Another tragic case of
This news break is brought to you by the bank that helps more South Australians own their home than any other lender.
In National 9 News tonight, the heroic fight for life by a toddler severely burned in Sydney's tragic daycare accident. 2-year-old Sophie remains in hospital 5 months after the car ploughed into the centre. Tonight, her parents speak of the anguish when doctors asked them if they wanted to turn off her life support. Also tonight, world number 2 tennis player Andy Roddick survives a fatal hotel fire in Rome. Tougher security for the Oban after last week's terrifying incident when a concrete ornament was thrown onto a bus, plus all the fallout from the Crows Geelong and Port Collingwood clashes.
What are we doing to these kids? She's 15, he's 14, and the government pays them to live together.
$318 a fortnight.
What's more, there's nothing her mum can do about it.
I had no say, no right to know anything.
Also, the banker who stole almost $2 million.
It's a compulsion, an addiction.
To go on a huge spending spree.
It's only $125,000.
And inside Donald Trump's amazing empire.
You're fired.
When Nissan presents A Current Affair.
You've done a bit of modelling then?
It's your missus. She wants you to get some milk on the way home.
But I'm not married. Honestly.
Been paid out lately. With a Keno jackpot easy pick, you could win over $1 million.
You're sweet and kind of hot, but I found something even better.
Sorry, but I need something more. In here, where it really matters. Look, you're never around, and I need something I can depend on. Something nice and regular.
Whatever you're into, you'll find it in KFC's range of tempting twisters with a fresh salad and 2 tender real breast fillet crispy strips, all wrapped in a soft tortilla. KFC Twisters, twisting your way.
I'm about as oriental as a microwave spring roll. And I thought Rendezvous was a Parisian drag queen. But then I discovered the new winter collections at Freedom. Now I don't have rooms, I have destinations.
Don't try this without new Garnier Fructus Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. Garnier Fructus with active fruit concentrate. Now tackles dandruff head on. It's proven. In just 3 washes, Garnier Fructus acts to eliminate dandruff. Not a trace of a flake. Garnier Fructus. Give your hair the strength to shine. And no more dandruff.
Buying, building or renovating? Then SA Home Buyers free information seminars may well prove to be in your interest. Receive professional advice on buying or investing, building or renovating, finance and insurance, energy efficiency, contracts and legalities, agent negotiations, or simply how to avoid things going wrong. SA Home Buyers free information seminars. It's in your interest. Bookings essential. Call now.
Michael Douglas, Brittany Murphy.
Is it a code? No. Is it a place? No. What is it?
Don't say a word.
I'll never tell.
Premieres tonight on 9.
Channel 9 for season 2004, key corporate partners with the Adelaide Football Club.
Half-time at Skills Stadium, and it is not the highest quality game, but it is close. The Cats by 2 points, 5-2-32. Adelaide 4-6-30. Stevens has got 3 for the Crows, and for the Cats, Cameron Ling has got 2 goals. And goals are at a premium. Brian Taylor, very tough conditions, the wind swirling around. We're not even sure which end it's favouring, such as the difficulty in working it out.
Look, we thought Geelong might have got a piece of it in that second quarter there when they come to the fore and kicked consecutive goals, 3 of them in fact, but really it was Geelong getting off to a not such a good start as they did in the first quarter, but Benny Graham in his 200th game, Gary, was pretty good to judge the wind beautifully, and then the left foot banana managed to get that one through.
Just the 1 goal in the first quarter for the Cats. They started the second quarter in much better fashion. This was clever from Chapman, and in fact it was on the back of a very good effort from Andrew Mackie. He's a talented youngster.
Ling had spent some time off the ground with an injury. We'll have a look at that very shortly, but he also got into the goal-scoring mode as well. In the middle of that second quarter, Gary, he managed to kick 2 consecutive goals and really gave the Geelong hopeful some hope, I guess. Haynes marking strongly on the lead as well.
He went on to Brett Burton, and Burton, who had a lot of the footy, he was half asleep here, and you just can't allow someone of the quality of Cameron Ling to be on your own inside 50, and on a day when players are finding it hard to kick goals, he finished it beautifully.
And Gary Ablett Jr., you'd commented during the quarter about how they were using him very deep, perhaps because of his lack of fitness. Well, that created problems for the Adelaide Crows defence because he's a very smart player around goals, we know that.
He is, and Gary Ayres will nurse him through, you would imagine, the rest of this game. Cameron Ling was spoken about him quite a lot. He did hurt himself very early in the piece, probably about 3 or 4 minutes into the first quarter. He's a star player. He safely sits in the star category now, but just have a look at the left arm here. It's squashed in between Doughty and also Mooney, straight from the ground.
Got pushed back the other way, come off, and we thought he was in some trouble, but about 15 minutes later he arrived back on the ground. That was one of those 2 goals that we'd showed earlier. Great courage for him to come back on and get plenty of it, Gary. 11 possessions, 5 marks and 2 goals. Just played 75% of the game time so far.
Very resilient character and one of the fittest players in the competition. So looking forward to he and Burton going at it in the second half. Adelaide, well, they had to work pretty hard for their goals as well. Scott Stevens has been a pretty good pickup, I think, for the Adelaide Crows. He's got some talent. This was a good effort from Carey who was able to set him up. But one of the things he's done today, Brian, that perhaps not all the players have done, is he's kept his eyes on the footy, and you'll notice some of his marks that he's taken here just because he's read it better.
Just judged it better, didn't he? And with the windy conditions, as you say, that's of vital importance today. That one was a little fortunate off the front, but if you're going to be front and centre and you're not in the marking contest, that's the spot to be. And this one here in particular as well. But Stevens did really well. Gallagher, that you can see running towards the 3-quarter part of that second quarter, was able to goal as well.
And this was the other Stevens goal late in the second quarter. This was a classic case. The ball held up in the breeze. Most thought it was going to travel over the back, and he just read it well, got to the front and slotted through his 3rd for the afternoon. So only in a 5-goal-to-4 afternoon, they are very, very valuable. And Adelaide missed opportunities early in the piece, perhaps to put a bit of a gap between themselves and Geelong.
They did in that first quarter, Gary, when they had wind, and here are a few of those misses. You can see that by no means difficult shots, but I guess in the wind conditions, you have a look at John Cock there, allowed for the wind, kicked it too hard for it to have any effect on the wind, and it was something that players, I guess, in the modern era aren't used to, with the likes of Telstra Dome and big protected grandstands, which we haven't got here.
Well, that was Doughty missing towards the end there as well. It is, well, it's evenly poised, if nothing else, Brian. It hasn't been the greatest, as I said, spectacle, but it is an even game. You want to call it at this stage?
Certainly is. Look, Adelaide have been fantastic, but I think the Cats at home, as we start to see some light rain falling here, that's really going to turn it into even more of a dogfight than it has been in this half. I think the Cats just.
And I'm glad you made it too, because I was very concerned about you getting down the highway, but great to have you on board. Big second half coming up here at Skilled Stadium. We'll take a break, and after the break we'll head to Amy Stadium, where there is another big game about to kick off. That will be Port Adelaide versus Collingwood on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Ordinary people.
I went from the projects to the White House.
An extraordinary opportunity.
You have to punch me in the stomach and tell me to sit down and shut up. I'll shut up. Sit down.
Beginning Tuesday, a show that takes the pleasure of doing business to a new level. It's about getting a dream job, the ultimate job interview.
Failure is not an option.
And everyone's taking it very seriously. From the creator of Survivor.
This is a very, very tough choice.
Meet Trump, his sidekicks, and a bunch of would-be tycoons. America's #1 show, The Apprentice, starts Tuesday on 9. Somebody wake him up.
Not bad, eh?
I can do better than that.
Been paid out lately? Keno, with over 43 mil won a year, you could win it by the minute.
Why use something rough to exfoliate your skin every day when you can use something that polishes gently? New Dove Gentle Exfoliating Bar with tiny blue beads and 1/4 moisturising cream. Reveal beautiful skin every day.
I've just been looking at some of Homart's essential new arrivals. There's a huge range and all at unbelievably low prices. And right now, you'll also save a further 20% off the already discounted price of all dolls and figurines. Mum's the word. Take a trip to Homart, to a world unlike the rest. You'll feel at Homart, so experience the best value every day.
With Australian Pensioners Insurance Agency's home and contents insurance, the extras are included. I can handle that. We charge no excess on claims with our everyday policy and don't charge you any extra to pay your premium by the month.
I can handle that.
And 99% of surveyed customers who've made a claim would recommend Australian Pensioners Insurance Agency to their friends. So if you're over 55 and no longer working full-time, call 132-555 for home and contents insurance with the extras included.
I can handle that.
Call now on 132-555. Thought you knew reality TV? So did Joe. It's all fake, except for Joe. The world's first unreality show, The Joe Schmo Show, coming soon to 9.
What is going on?
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by Keno, Radio Rentals, and Toyota.
Welcome back to Skilled Stadium here. We've got a tight one. There is another big game on this afternoon. It is Port Adelaide versus Collingwood. They always put on a good show. It's over at Amy Stadium, and that is where we find Dennis Committee and Dermot Brereton. Welcome, boys.
Gary. Thanks very much, Gary. Well, it is going to be a big game here. 1-4 is the scoreline for the Magpies and 4-1 for the Port Adelaide Power Den.
Now, I know Collingwood have got a good record against the Power, but it's hard to make a case for them this afternoon. They're simply not kicking enough goals. They got 15 against the Bulldogs in round 2. Next best, I think, is about 12 and twice below 10. So trying to say they can win this afternoon is a pretty big reach.
It will be a big reach, and you don't want to cut them any slack for, you know, a failure in anticipation, but the team that's kicked the most goals up against the team that's kicked the least amount of goals, and if you look at all the stats ratings on the ladder 1 to 16, Port Adelaide are 1 in most of them, and Collingwood are 16th in the other, so if they give a good account of themselves, we'll pat them on the back today. They're up against it. This is the Port Adelaide team that they'll be taking on.
Yes, Kingsley is out. Polton comes back in. They played reasonably well last week. The Bulldogs didn't take their chances, but having said that, Port did enough to win. The week before, dismal at the MCG against Melbourne, so their form coming in isn't outstanding, but they've got a hard-working core of players who get the job done in the midfield, and that will be a danger for Collingwood this afternoon.
Talking of form, James Brayshaw is always in it, and he had the opportunity to catch up with the two coaches, and he talked to Port Adelaide coach Mark Choco Williams first.
Back to the war mentality for the Pies. Is there some of that for you today? Have you got to get your boys up to make sure that you're ready for them to come out firing? No, look, there's enough tradition between our two clubs to know that every time it's a really competitive game. The last time we played them, we played really poorly in the second half and let ourselves down, so we wanted to play well today. How do you go playing against Collingwood as a former legend of the club? Sounds good. Yeah, no, it's just another game. Look, I've been around a lot of clubs, and Collingwood's one of them.
Brogan, are we going to see him out there? And if we are, how much game time is he going to get?
Oh, look, he's declared himself available, and we're playing him as if there's nothing wrong with him.
Good luck today.
Thanks very much.
And there is Mark Williams. He also had the opportunity to catch up straight away after that with the Collingwood coach, Mick Malthouse.
Pies fans, you've got Tarrant and Buckley soon to come back, so some joy on the horizon.
Oh, it'd be great to have them back. I wouldn't be too anxious. I don't know whether they're going to be back next week or the week after. I'm not overly concerned. I think players that don't play for you, they're not in the sides, they can't get a kick for you. The ones that I'm worried about most of all are the ones that are out there. So it'd be great to have them, though.
Late changes, whispers come through that the Pies may make a couple?
Well, I think it's pretty evident that Rhys Shaw hasn't come up, and Josh Fraser is out with gastro. Yeah.
All right, good luck today, Mick.
Thanks, mate. Right.
That's the big one, isn't it? Josh Fraser out. So, in effect, they've got Buckley, Tarrant and Fraser missing from this lineup. And I suppose when you're 1 and 4, that's not what you need.
Well, he has been in reasonable form too. We have a look at the side. They're the best two performed players they've had for the season. Consistency-wise, Scotty Burns in the middle and little Benny Johnson in the back pocket as well, number 26. He's had a reasonably good season. Other than that, they've been up and down. They've had some guys who've chipped in at various times and been good, but consistency-wise, that hasn't been their long suit so far.
Big day for Richards. And I've got to say, too, last week, I admired the way they stuck at the game. I mean, they didn't go away until late into the third term, maybe even early in the last against Essendon on Anzac Day. And the result, I thought, flattered the Bombers a little bit. If you carry that line through, the Bombers quite impressive for 3/4 yesterday. So if you're trying to mount a case for Collingwood, maybe on what we saw last week, this backs-to-the-wall mentality may come through this afternoon. It'll need to.
We're going to need to see a little bit of the old Collingwood spirit, and there's plenty of spirit happening at Skills Stadium. Back to you, Gary.
Thank you, boys. And at the conclusion of this game here in Geelong, you can see Port Adelaide take on Collingwood. That'll come live into Melbourne. Check your local guides, Adelaide and Perth. And for our friends in the northern states, a belter of an NRL game. Canterbury Bulldogs up against the Brisbane Broncos. That is first versus second. Check your local guides. The remaining game, round 6, Melbourne taking on Carlton at the MCG. The progressive score in the first quarter. The Demons, 3-2-20. Carlton, 1-1-7. Travis Johnson on fire for the Demons. Long way to go there. Half-time here at Skills Stadium. It is the Cats by 2 points. We'll take a break and be back with all the second half action on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Tonight on The Block.
All's fair in love and real estate.
The battle between upstairs and downstairs comes to a head.
I've got all my bathroom stuff.
Is someone going to come down clean it?
Our 4 savvy couples are getting down.
Mate, I'll tell you now, Monique's not happy, man.
Dirty.
Smell.
And desperate.
Business is business.
What am I going to do, lie? Yeah.
But the toughest battle is the one that makes headlines. When Freedom presents The Block tonight on 9.
Carlton Draft, made with barley, hops and attractive yeast, brewed in a big metal thing, put in kegs and driven around by horses, poured into frosty sideways glasses and drunk in pubs. Carlton Draft, made from beer.
Hey, how you doing? Here, try one of those.
Thanks.
Starburst squirts. The liquid centers make them dangerously juicy.
Don't try this without new Garnier Fructus Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. Garnier Fructus with active fruit concentrate. Now tackles dandruff head on. It's proven. In just 3 washes, Garnier Fructis acts to eliminate dandruff, not a trace of a flake. Garnier Fructis, give your hair the strength to shine and no more dandruff.
You're sweet and kind of hot, but I found something even better. Sorry, but I need something more. In here, where it really matters. Look, you're never around, and I need something I can depend on. Something nice and regular.
Whatever you're into, you'll find it in KFC's range of tempting twisters, with a fresh salad and 2 tender real breast fillet crispy strips, all wrapped in a soft tortilla. KFC Twisters, twist it your way.
Can you remind me to renew the home insurance?
Amy saves you up to 45% off our home insurance base rate when your car is insured with us. And get at least another 10% off for combining your building and contents insurance. And free temporary accommodation if your home is unlivable during repairs.
When did they say that dishwasher would be fixed?
If your home insurance doesn't offer this, get lucky. Switch to Amy.
I'll do the drawing.
Lucky you're with Amy. Welcome back. Half-time here at Skills Stadium in Geelong. 2 points in front of the Adelaide Crows. 5-2-32, Adelaide 4-6-30. Quickly down to Michael Roberts on the boundary.
Thanks, Gary. Gary Ablett's got the glove on, a bit of a right thumb problem. Also speaking to Gary Ayres, said he's finding it really difficult to coach in the forward line. Can't get a steady structure up at all.
Yes, that looked very nasty for Gary Ablett there. Third quarter action beginning.
Bounces a wobbly one, and Clark just thumps it all the way towards half-forward. Perry overran it slightly, and the All-Australian fullback Scarlett hits Milburn with a good pass. They're away down the corridor. Handball option is Ling. If he wants it, he wants it, he wants it, he gets it. Short pass to the pocket to Chapman. A start out of the textbook for the Cats, if he can kick the goal.
Now, as opposed to the last time they went through the middle of the ground trying to draw a player, that was the way to do it. Just a nice composed head from Milburn. Helps when you got some experience under your belt, as these two players had, Milburn and Ling, and then a lovely kick on the non-preferred foot by Cameron Ling to Paul Chapman. A little bit of artwork there on the right shoulder.
And a lot of players do enjoy the artwork. This kick will go from right to left a little bit, and it goes from right to left a little too much for his liking. A disappointing kick, only a behind, and only just a behind.
Well, it is disappointing considering that Paul Chapman would kick from that pocket on most nights at football training, I'd imagine. Yep. Dwayne, they do train out here at Skilled Stadium.
Subsiding ever so slightly the windy conditions here. Begley, the job in front of him. And there's a good look at what confronts him. Difficult job, this, Gary, kicking in from full-back, one that requires great courage in your own ability. Out wide to the pack. Bassett did well to gain another 20 out of the kick by the punch. Rashudo, Mooney and Burton all helping the ball. Kelly. Burton was exceptional in the first quarter. James Kelly, well done. Milburn. Gee, they look good. Raleigh gathers through the middle. Got it in this case to Tenace. Maloney, 60 out. Uses the wind to his advantage and nails it.
Chartered Accountants bring you another great moment. When a player changes club in the off-season, there's always plenty of emotion when he comes face-to-face with his former side. It was no different for the Swans' Nick Davis when he lined up against Collingwood in round 6 last year. With the game in the balance, the pressure was certainly on Davis. Delivered with precision by Chartered Accountants. Employ our thinking.
Living on in the fine traditions of one John Sammy Newman, the white boots on the feet of a young man, Brett Maloney, who's playing some pretty good footy.
Rocket launches on his feet. That was a brilliant kick on the run. Used the breeze perfectly. Bounced to restart. Mooney goes Clark.
And he's saying, will you bounce it straight?
Yeah.
And I won't have to go cannoning into Matthew Clark.
The ex-Lion, who also played with the Tigers under-19s, goes towards Carey. Wrapped up in a Harley hold. And we will get a bounce just inside attacking 50 for the Crows. Dennis Pagan, his old coach, saying last week, Wayne Carey, the best player he's ever seen or coached.
No marks at age at the 2 disposals for Wayne Carey. Talk to Gary later about some rumours circulating over in South Australia. Might even do it now. Gary, what have you heard?
There was a bit of a whisper through the week that he came very close, Wayne Carey. Now, you're not sure how true they are, but the mail was supposed to be pretty strong. He's battled this afternoon, Wayne Carey, let's be honest.
Came pretty close to what, Gary?
Sorry, giving it away, Mark.
Prosciutto, Clark, stepping pirouette type move that Prosciutto set up with the ball at the feet of Perry. He was gang tackled by a couple, and we'll have another ball up.
He's gone to the goal square. Ian Perry down forward as well, and Matthew Scarlett's gone to Perry, Harley on to Carey.
Suggesting he had thoughts of retirement, Gary.
Cross the mind, we are led to believe.
Ling. Out wide, Maloney kicked that beautiful 60-metre goal just a couple of moments ago. Got a bit of time and poise here as he crosses it to Ablett, who's outmanoeuvred slightly by Begley. Good soccer, beautiful smooth pickup from a difficult bouncing ball by Burton. Kick in ball, geez, Perry was moving at great pace, but the cat stood tall.
Brenton Sanderson, an ex-Crow, chips it to Maloney. Sanderson, of course, from Sturt in South Australia. Maloney, oh, the beautiful white slipper found Raleigh. Kick not so good. Clean bowls, Charlie Gardner, the late inclusion, but he made it look okay. Now Milburn, spearing pass, cut off well by Bock.
Top of the square from there, you would have thought, just belted in.
Yep, Maloney, you never know what can happen. Stengline. Just can't afford to finesse too much in these conditions.
Too precise, Brian. Let's get
happen. Stengline. Just can't afford to finesse too much in these conditions.
Too precise, Brian. Let's get it in there, both sides, get it in quick.
Stengline to half forward. Crows need to get a bit of a move along. And surely that'll be a free kick to McLeod, but
Shepherd.
Umpire said a Shepherd. Ball not within the required distance, so fair enough.
6 possessions for Andy McLeod. Spent most of the first half and half back. He needs to lift.
Tenace. Time. Driving ball forward. It was ugly, but Chapman got on the end of it now. This is not beyond him. If he can get a bit of altitude with this ball, it will carry an extra 10 to 15. Therefore, rather than be a 55-metre kick, a 45.
No one in the goal square. That's why he had to wait. Not that confident in his ability to make the distance.
He needs to get up there in the jet stream where you were with the helicopter, Gary. That's the point. Carries over the top of the pack. Free kick.
Free kick Geelong's way.
Wow. Right on the edge of the goal square. Let's have a look at it, Gary. What did you see?
Well, he's paid it to Gardner for a push-out against Henschel, I think. If he did do that, it is staggering.
It's a little mystifying.
No, not a little. That is a staggering decision, Brian.
Charlie Gardner will line up, nevertheless, Gary, and kick what I would think would be a certain goal. 3 in a row for the Cats.
What's with the...
It's aftershave.
Not bad. Smell beautiful, you're a girl.
Been paid out lately? Keno, with over 3 million paid out a month, you could win it by the minute.
Need a loan or some money in a hurry? Where can you get an instant cash loan against your quantity unwanted goods? Instant cash loans at Cash Converters. Just another good reason to visit your nearest Cash Converters store.
Well, you can make your own decision at home as to whether that was a free kick or not. Have a look at it.
It is an amazingly harsh decision to make.
This is why the umpires are in the news so often.
It's a bad decision. Let's leave it at that, Brian. I know you're going to hit a steam up.
But when it costs you a goal, it makes it a little bit worse. From the ball up, no one can get the takeaway, but regardless, the goal is next to Charlie Gardner's name. You mentioned he's a Geelong grammar boy earlier, Brian. Captain of their first 18, the first 18 captain to play in the blue and white horizontal stripes since the great John Sammy Newman. Ball up in the middle. Henschel got it out towards Massey, who had the best first half of his career with the Crows possession-wise. 17 touches in the opening half to Chris Massey, and we'll get a ball up.
5 clearances too in that as well, Dwayne, which is a very impressive statistic. Becomes so important, the clearance stat.
Kicked 6 of the last 8 goals. Geelong, Mooney running hard at the ball, and a Shepherd there will go his way. So there's a win for Cam Mooney. Just off the back of half-back there. Low ball, relaxed through the middle. Milburn. Well, look at the pace of Tenace. Low bouncing ball, Ablett. Now what will he do? Out of trouble. Got it wide. Here's a shot for Mackey. Lines him up. Had a lot of swing on it. And in the end, a poor result. 16-point advantage for Geelong in the third.
What about Kane Tenace, Gary, taking on the great Andrew McLeod with a bounce?
Wonder what he thought about that when he's sitting up at Shepparton, maybe just having a kick down there at Deakin Reserve, whether 12 months later he'd just be dragging Andrew McLeod off.
Burton kicks it to the outer side. Tenace, he likes to take his mind off the game before games. He watches a movie on the morning of the game. He's only played, well, this is his second. He watched Rocky apparently last week. There's a few Rockies in the series. He could probably get up to about game 10 and watched a lot of them. Milburn dumps it all the way to half forward. Mackey couldn't get it. Chapman can, knows where they are, and bangs home his second.
Hi, this is Paul. I'm sorry I can't take your call, but...
These days, having a degree can bring unexpected benefits, like getting access to the graduate loan from Homestart Finance. It lets you borrow 100% to buy or build your first home. Yeah, that's right. No deposit. You can find out more with a single phone call. It's a smart call. Homestart. That's smart.
So all of a sudden, the Cats out to a 22-point lead. We haven't even reached the halfway mark of this third quarter. They've kicked all 3 goals of the quarter. Boat over the top, John Cock there as well. Someone for Adelaide has got to stand up now and send it forward. Carey, can he be the man? Or this man here, Stevens, already done his job, got 3. Ball in dispute, forward line for the Crows. Gardner tries to push it out. Corey and Raleigh there just to make sure it doesn't come out too easily in the Crows' forward half.
They'll be looking for a lift from John Cock, just 5 possessions. McLeod, just 6 possessions. They have to start finding some footy. Even Mark Rashudo has had 11 touches, but hasn't really had a big influence.
Clark reaching over to Burton, caught. Good tackle by Gardner. And Stengline is going nowhere. With a little help from Maloney, we'll get a ball up. McLeod into the midfield, Gary.
Yeah, and it's about time. I mean, he was okay in the back half, but he wasn't setting up too many opportunities. Clearances, Stengline's a master at it. Massey's been very good as well, but they need a bit of McLeod magic.
Standing off this ball up, though, still, Milburn to Hunt. And there's that long left foot. It's a torpedo, which you don't see often. Race on. Begley and Ablett. Ablett will see that as a win. Geelong free kick for out of bounds on the full to Kelly.
Great pressure, wearing the right glove there, just on the half-time show. We might have a look at it at some stage. It looked like a nasty, put his hand out to stop his fall, and the thumb was bent back.
Okay, keep an eye on that. Don't know whether it opened the skin or not, thus the glove, or whether that's just some sort of mental protection for him. Hunt. Kick inside 50 or thereabouts. Finds Mackey. He marks. He's got room. He's got time. He straightens up, and once again he had that helicopter look about the kick, bending heavily left.
They had some opportunity, haven't they? This quarter, the Cats, perhaps to really just put this thing beyond doubt. We've seen so often this weekend, though, sides will keep coming back.
Bassett, and there goes gravity. Clark over the top. Nice mark. The wind held him up, put that big chest up and sailed over the pack. High kick from him. Burton tries to do likewise. John Cock can't mark it. Ball to Kelly. Half held, got a handball. The Ling 1-2. Cats are looking lively. Short pass. Mackey crunched into his chest. Bock. Caught. Clark. Dazed. Tenace. Edwards just the tackle in time. Ablett will fly. Can't mark. Mackey crunched. Cats with the numbers. Spearing pass. Haynes marks 50 from goal.
They're very much on top at the moment. The Cats starting to win the footy around stop plays and contested situations. That's a good effort from Abbott. All he did was force the ball to come to ground, and this is the result.
Charlie Gardner, late inclusion, replacing Riccardi, and wants to stay in the team, obviously. David Haynes, ex-Geelong under-18, went to the West Coast. He's back home. Starts it right, brings it back. Doesn't get much better than that. Gets his first.
Hurry to Crazy John's for the best mobile phone deals. We've got the Sony Ericsson T610 with built-in camera. And for 3 days only, you'll get a genuine car kit valued at $299. And a Nokia 3315 prepaid phone valued at $99. All for free. Now that's a bonus second phone and a genuine car kit for free. Don't miss out. For 3 days only and only at Crazy John's, call 1322.99 for your nearest location. The best deals are crazy deals.
Cats. There is Gary Ablett Jr. with that glove we spoke about. And the reason, Gary, is this.
What's the right hand there? Look at that, Ryan. That is a very nasty situation. That could be broken, dislocated.
So
Didn't like it, Dwayne?
I might have to cut it off.
What does the glove do, though? I'm confused in that area, but whatever you feel,
Keeps it warm.
Good thing. Milburn, scrapping.
Wasn't a glove man myself, but I'm not sure. There may have been a wound as a result of that. There may not have been. It might just be psychologically. There might be heavy strapping and he doesn't want to alert people to it.
Oh, look at this cup there. He certainly understands the glove, but...
So wear the glove to hide the strapping.
There's 4 other fingers it might be.
Interesting world we live in, the modern one. Out wide, Sanderson chasing.
You haven't got much choice, have you?
John Cox just got to go with it, Dwayne. Ling. Whatever they do, we will follow as we go down to Michael Roberts.
Boys, I can clear that up when he came off the ground at half-time, Gary Ablett. No wound at all, so it was more of a sprain or a dislocation or something like that, but absolutely no wound.
So just a comfort piece, the glove.
Ball back into play. Ling. Kelly, who's had a fair bit of it, so too Maloney. The white boot, supreme at the moment from Maloney inside 50. Bassett mops it up. Sends it back to the wing, high ball. Maloney will have to fly. Almost gets a free. Does get a free according to the umpire. And the natives, they're enjoying a bit of a feast in this third term.
He looks good, this kid Maloney, Gary. Tell me something about him.
Well, I like him. He's had 13 possessions. He's put it inside 50 on 7 occasions, more than any other player on the ground.
Here we go. Scarlett run down by Carey. Pins it to him, dropping the ball, had an opportunity, said the umpire, so Wayne Carey's got the free kick at half-back. This quarter, Geelong have had 20 more possessions, 4 more inside 50s, and the score is 4-2 to 0 in this quarter. So Geelong are getting the job done in most. This will be one of the few inside 50s for Stevens and Adelaide. Long, Burton setting himself at the back. Just kicked a little further than he thought. And a minor score there. Adelaide's first score of this second half.
Sorry, Brian, it might be time that Carey's moved away from the goal square and Stevens, a man that has kicked 3 goals and has looked dangerous every time it's gone forward, assumes the key forward post, because Wayne Carey has had a very lean afternoon, has just the 3 possessions, not yet taken a mark, so Stevens could be the option.
Speaking of marks, difficult one to mark. Jericho picked the crumb up and kicked it out of bounds on the full, off the face of the club, and it's in the car park. Milburn. Half-back flank, Ben Graham at his 200th game. Not seeing a lot of it.
Finding actually getting possession not as significant today if you're tall. It's just being able to compete and make sure there's some drop of the ball for your small men.
Scarlett, who Gary won't be taking to Ireland this year.
Why not?
Ineligible. Kick towards half forward and a free kick.
I do remember now.
Suspended last year in the International Series.
Yes.
Okay. Ball out wide, Gary. How does that affect it? Sten Gleim in the middle, fell over. Haynes. Beautiful work. Corey. The beautiful no-look. Hamill! Ace Wojcicki tried to ignite the afterburners and was trapped before they ignited.
You can still take him if you want.
Social director. Andrew Mackie, there's a lot to like about him. Big tackle from Nathan Bassett too. This was a great tackle. And Andrew Mackie, just in his 4th game, I think, has also been not afraid to mix it up.
Important you have a good off-field component in Ireland this year. Gary went away, so we're always there. Ling, a bounce, bangs it to half forward for the Cats, who are in control at the moment. Oh, the umpire collision with a player behind ground. He's gone down. The player's gone down. We're going to have a look at that in a minute. We have got it on tape. The umpire is still lying out.
Play stopped, is it not? No, play goes on.
Look at this. Bang!
Oh!
That's as good a bump as you'd put on any player in a game.
Gavin Dorr broke his leg yesterday in a game, so it's been a horror weekend for the umps.
Stefan Grun is the umpire that still lies on the ground. The game goes on with just the 2 field umpires. Umpire's back on his feet. Get ready, umpire. It's coming down your way, and you're going to blow the P. Up they go. Haynes, Chapman, driven into the ground, Bassett. The other umpire steps forward, and Smith, and said, I'll decide here.
Well, Stefan Grun's had to grunt and bear it. This is just a big hit there from... The worrying thing, though, for Charlie Gardner is that Stefan Grun is up and about. Charlie Gardner's coming off. We shouldn't laugh. It's serious.
Bounce. Ball rolling inside 50, Bode. Henschel. Crowd calling for a free, and the worst news for Geelong, Charlie Gardner has been knocked so severely by umpire Grun. He's having a sit down.
Well, surely umpire Stefan Grun has got to have a concussion test or something to make sure his faculties are still there.
Credit where it's due, Brian.
Milburn punched down Bassett from fullback. Out wide. Here comes Henry. Bit of ping-pong to himself. Mackie. Been good, but his kicking's let him down a little. Not this time. He found Haynes deep in the pocket for the Cats.
Very difficult shot, you would imagine. The breeze pushing from right to left.
Very good look at it from that previous angle, but Haynes has got a difficult one in front of him. Right foot banana, run around on the left, couple of options up his sleeve.
What would you do, Brian, the Coleman medalist, century goal scorer?
Go back and kick the straight drop punt, Gary, through the middle. Haynes, the banana that slid across the face. Very, very small margin for error in those kicks. Fine score.
Yeah, we haven't had an umpire incident for some time. Now, I just wonder whether Henschel has shielded Gardner from the umpire there, although no, he came from the right. Not sure what.
Well, a big raw kick in from fullback's been marked by Hunt.
Bit of infatuation with the umpire, stacking, and here we go. The distance won't be a worry. He'll put this over the top. Bad miss kick.
Oh.
From James Begley, we know he can kick at 75, Begley. Why he doesn't?
Well, distance won't be a worry. And this would be a massive kick. It would mean Geelong would be more than double Adelaide's score, and... Oh, he starts it right, bends it back. Pull out the way. Hunted it down.
Carlton Draft. Made with barley, hops, and attractive yeast. Brewed in a big metal thing. Put in kegs and driven around. By horses. Poured into frosty sideways glasses. And drunk in pubs. Carlton Draft. Made from beer.
34-point lead to Geelong. 6 consecutive goals for the Cats. Stenglein out of the middle. John Crockett half back. Burton finds his man there, goes forward. Henschel with a kick on the way, and I think he may have nailed it. Carey likes it. The umpire's got to agree. In fact, it may have been Jericho, it was. And a goal in response to the 6 in a row for the Cats.
And very, very badly needed too. Finally, they get a couple out of the centre. But look, they've got to reshuffle, I think, the Cats. They've got Mark Rashudo in the goal square. Well, that's fair enough. That's worth trying. But Wayne Carey, who's had his colours lowered by first Scarlett and now Harley, I think it might be time for him to perhaps have a spell or even go in the back half. And Stevens is a man that's always looked capable. I think he needs to become the key target for Adelaide if they're going to win this game. tonight's game.
It's been almost a full quarter since Adelaide scored their last. It's been lean, but maybe a chance in the last 4.5 minutes to play their way back into the game. Burns gave it to Burton. High kick. Stevens, who was lively early. Jericho just lost the handle. Out of bounds.
Gary Ayres and the team ponder. Running out of instructions to send, one would feel. Hudson in the ruck, Kelly. Bode. Hudson again, back, Gallagher. Driving kick down towards Carey. Caught behind, Harley in front. Carey did well to gather. Turn around. Either foot will do, Wayne. Centering ball gives John Cock a chance. Should have marked. Put up the one claw. And John Cock captured in the tackle. The Cats, plenty of them waiting around the ball. Scarlett out of defence. Cats are away again as rain starts to fall here.
Short pass is good to Ablett. Been a while since the Geelong fans have seen a Cat team this fierce. And they're enjoying it at the moment, despite the rain. They won't be leaving early as Ablett dances his way through half-back, goes with a long kick. Mackey down there, couldn't get it for the Cats, and Bassett gathers for the Crows. Bock. High to the outer side wing. 3.5 minutes remaining, and Stengline. Strong mark against Ling.
Just forward of half-back for the Crows. 3.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. And Geelong comfortably. Dropped by Jericho. Burns and Burton around the corner. And that one's gone out of bounds in the full, or very close to. Minor score. Over the line, in fact, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
24 possessions for Brett Burton as we have a look at some of these ominous clouds about to roll in. It was just a brief shower. That was just perhaps a taste of what may be coming our way in the last quarter.
Hudson and Mooney. Half forward for the Crows. Around the 3 minutes remaining. He knocks it forward. This is Ben Hudson. Bling. Gathers. Kicked in a hurry. And only as far as Burton.
About to launch Adelaide inside 50, goes long. Carey's there. Risciuto drops it. Oh, boy.
That's not the Grumster, is it? It is.
Yep.
Umpire Grun went to the whistle early, been involved in a big spill.
Well, you don't expect Mark Risciuto to drop chest marks. But he dropped that one.
That is premature blowing of the whistle.
Got a bit of artwork on the shoulder as well. One of the reigning Brownlow medalists missed the 97 flag when injured, and that just drove him even harder in 98 to play in one. And if there is anybody that can help Adelaide back into this game with a little bit of help from the umpires, Mark Risciuto. He starts it right. Did he bring it back enough? He likes it. Umpire likes it, more importantly.
Hey, fellas.
New boots.
Yeah.
Mate, they're shockers.
Nice work, Bert.
Yeah. He wouldn't know what work was. Mum sick of tying your laces, was she?
Genuine vinyl?
Nice. Don't get him, Bert.
Been paid out lately?
Keno, easy pick, thanks, mate.
Keno. Win it by the minute.
Hey, Dino. Keno.
Adelaide have got the last two, and boy did they need them. With 2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, they have got it to within 22 points. Good fight back from the Crows. Another one would make the last term very, very interesting. Burton applying a pulverising tackle. And we'll have another ball up. Been pretty good today as Brett Burton. Drafted back in 1998. He was a top 20 draft pick from memory. Perhaps 16 or 17, somewhere thereabouts. Off hands, lucky. Mooney now goes forward with a kick that was partially smothered. Stengline didn't have it. Ball fed out nicely from Kingsley. Got it to Ablett from 55 metres out. Under enormous pressure. Ablett's nailed it. He loves it. Great responding goal from the junior Ablett.
All new giggles, all new tears. Comedy Monday is a little bit different this week because in their final year, things were bound to change.
Oh, my God.
Now, two of the friends are leaving.
Are you serious?
Final year friends. Then it ain't the scariest predator.
So here's the deal, Uncle Charlie. I find you attractive. I'm at the peak of my sexuality, and I have a 3-hour window Wednesday nights when the kids are at Taekwondo.
A single mother.
Great. You broke him.
2.5 men after friends on Nine's Comedy Monday.
Well, it's a famous name in these parts. And they saw Dad do a bit of that in his time. Dash clear, pump it home, punch the air. And some good form shown by Ablett Jr. 1.5 minutes remaining, third term, an important 90 seconds here. Ablett gets to Ling, wide ball from his boot, high ball, waiting under at Milburn, couldn't take the mark. Bob gave the handball out, Henschel, Bassett, they are under siege, Adelaide. High kick towards the wing, Haynes comes hard, but he can't spoil Spengline. Fires out a quick handball, and the Adelaide Crows are away.
Gallagher's got a couple of bounces, and he's got the running guard to go with him as well. Now the driving kick, Carey over the back, couldn't mark. Did the defensive thing, properly punched. John Cock gathers. Handball out to Stevens, little chip kick, very wide. Edwards marks on the boundary line. Long way from home, time ticking down. Under a minute. Tyson Edwards. Nothing on the scoreboard for him today. Long way from home. 55 metres. Just puts it to the end of the square. Carey's there. Geelong in numbers. Off hands. Burton dribbles one. Carey. Can he gather? No. Did well on the end. Chase. And a minor score there. Might just about see the scoring out, although 30-odd seconds left in the quarter.
Well, they're in the hands. The footy will be in the hands of Josh Hunt. Yeah, I'm sure that the Geelong runner, there he is, Andrew Buse, just pointing long to the outer side to put this out of the reach of any Adelaide Crows and any chance of coming back in their face for a late goal.
Goes with the big, long 70-metre pump to that outer side. Diving, Harley. Couldn't take possession of it. Edwards keeps it alive. Gallagher, maybe one last chance for the Crows. Wobbly kick. Carey! Two great, but not the third.
Push. Free kick, Sanderson.
28 points adrift. Adelaide have had their last couple of chances. Kick out wide. John Cock gathers. Three-quarter time, and a 27-point margin in favour of Geelong. They had a sensational start to that quarter where they kicked 5 straight goals. Then Jericho and Rashudo responded. Ablett nailed his second, and a 27-point margin at three-quarter time.
This news break is brought to you by Bank SA Home Loans.
Good afternoon. In National 9 News at 6, an Australian among those killed by a suicide gunman in Saudi Arabia. Tougher security for the Oban after last week's terrifying incident when a concrete ornament was thrown through a bus windscreen. One of the world's top tennis players survives a fatal hotel fire in Rome. The heroic fight for life by a toddler burned in Sydney's tragic daycare centre accident. 2-year-old Sophie is still in hospital 5 months after being trapped under the burning car. And in sport, the fallout from the Crows Geelong and the Port Collingwood clashes is Premier League soccer and the V8. See you at 6.
Michael Douglas, Brittany Murphy.
Is it a code? Is it a place? No, what is it?
Don't say a word.
I'll never tell.
Premieres tonight on 9.
Change is out to get you. Now it's finally you to realize what to do. It's change.
I thought dating again would be tough.
He's cute. Is he younger than me?
Just for men hair colour, the Rejuvenator gets rid of grey hair in 5 easy minutes for a young, natural look.
Would you like to come in?
Just for men.
Woo! I've been a childcare worker for years and have 3 kids of my own. I love watching them grow, but nothing is more important to me than their health. So when it comes to relieving their pain and fever, I choose Children's Panadol because nothing works faster. And unlike Nurofen for children, Children's Panadol can be taken from the time they're just 1 month old. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing better. Children's Panadol, it's my choice.
In '62, I was board train which plunged into icy river. 1 year later, I was sucked out of plane but landed on haystack. In 1970, my car catch fire. It exploded just after my escape. This also happened in '73. But with these 3 new Doritos Megawatt flavors, I have 1 in 4 chance of instant winning free Doritos and other stuff. I don't need much luck, which is good.
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also do your pruning. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
In 2004, CSI Miami, ER. Channel 9 has the best shows on the planet. Friends, McLeod's Daughters, Without a Trace, the big dramas, the best events, Survivor, The Block. Now, we're about to play our trump card.
It's not personal, it's business.
Shut up! Feast your eyes on the next big thing. The Apprentice, all new, Tuesday, 9:30 on 9.
Channel 9 for season 2004, key corporate partners with the Adelaide Football Club.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by Toyota, Primus Telecom, and Chartered Accountants.
Welcome back to Skills Stadium, and it started with a celebration. Ben Graham's 200th game, and Adelaide started with a celebration for Scott Stevens. He kicked the first 2 goals of the contest. The perfect start for Adelaide, and they look invincible in the opening 10 minutes. But Ben Graham, in game 200, put the Cats on the board with a banana goal, and Adelaide's lead cut back to just 9 points at quarter time. Cameron Ling was the man in the second term. The local St Joey's Redhead kicking 2 goals in 4 minutes, helping Geelong take the lead at half-time by 2 points. In the third term, big collision between Gardner and umpire Grun. Gardner coming off the worst for wear. He had to come to the bench, and then Begley's poor kick in turned the ball over to Hunt. He took the mark, and a lot of outswing on the shot at goal. And Geelong opened up a very, very handy lead, even though Rashudo got paid this mark at full forward and reduced the margin to just 27 points at three-quarter time. The Cats not home by any stretch.
They certainly are not. 6 goals in the third quarter to Geelong has opened it up. It is a nice, comfortable lead. Maybe a little bit of rain around, although it does look to have cleared somewhat. They'll be feeling pretty good about themselves, but as we've seen all weekend, the come-from-behind wins have been on the agenda. That man, Gary Ablett, just a touch of class in the third quarter, and he's a very important part of this Geelong make-up. Another game on at the MCG, and if you're a Melbourne supporter, you'd be loving life at this point in time. A 10-goal-1 halfway through the second quarter. Cameron Bruce has kicked 3 for the Demons. Ben Holland and Aaron Davey, 2 apiece. The D's, they get a head of steam up, and they are very hard to stop. So let's go down to Michael Roberts now on the boundary.
Thanks, Gary. Well, you said Charlie Gardner came off. I tell you what, Stephen Grun gone. He's off in the last quarter. He's been replaced by Brett Rosebery. So the umpires come off second best too.
Start of the final quarter, and it is the Cats by 27 points. Adelaide kicking to the right of screen.
Just looking at that flag on top of the Hickey stand, it does seem to be favouring the left-hand side of screen somewhat, more so than perhaps earlier in the day.
Subsided a lot, though, the wind. Just a bit of a flutter out there now. Half back. Cats back in the middle. Bode, Majinski. And Bode trying to get his way out. And you look at, there is Stephen Grun, the umpire that was involved in that collision.
It's a bit proppy coming off, wasn't he, Barge, at three-quarter time?
Yep, Brett Rosebery's gone on to replace him. So the umpires copped a bit of criticism this round, and a few injuries as well. Gavin Dorr breaking his leg yesterday. John Cock will get a free kick here.
They've got to light something up, Adelaide. They've got to light it up pretty quickly, you'd think.
He'll go long. Looking down, there was a beautifully weighted kick. And the route, Rashudo was marked within the journey.
He could be the man, Mark Rashudo. Kicked the goal just before three-quarter time. And, well, if Adelaide are going to mount a challenge, it may very well come through their captain. He's gone to full forward. He hasn't had the greatest of afternoons. But you do know that he is capable of kicking 3 or 4 goals in a quarter.
Got to start this at the right goalpost, Gary. You've got one in the third.
You reckon?
Even a little bit further, just outside the right goalpost if you want.
You saw that Josh Hunt big swing from right to left.
And if he can keep it below the height of the goalpost, that would be a good idea as well. There is a very good look at the confronting task for the skipper, Rashudo. And he comes very deliberate. This would give Adelaide the kick they need. There it is, outside the post. Drifts a long way. Gee, it was a tough kick. And just the minor score.
Almost needed to be just inside right point post, didn't it? A lot of movement there.
Gary Ayres moved Mark Rashudo to full forward in the Crows' most recent win here in 2002. In fact, and Rashudo delivered the goods for them. They got up in the last stride. Long kick towards Mackie from Hunt. Ball knocked clear towards the boundary line, and we will get a ball in. So you're right, Gary, he could be the man.
Well, they've got to still 6 possessions. He needs to find something. Ling and Gallagher going head-to-head. Ling's been terrific since coming off early in the first quarter. Johnson now got the job on Burton.
Clark, the palm down. And once again, a massive pack of players. And we will get another ball up. Just the Adelaide Crows side of the members' grandstand wing.
Wayne Carey just 4 possessions as well, yet to take a mark for the afternoon. So he needs to do something if Adelaide are going to be a chance.
Plenty of room for improvement then for the Crows. Milburn, Mooney, Burton. Gathers a difficult ball.
Geez, work hard.
Stenglein. Enormous pressure the Cats players are putting on their opponents. Michael Roberts, the play's right in front of you.
Yeah, Brett Maloney, he copped one in the ribs just before three-quarter time. He's been in the dressing rooms, hasn't reappeared yet.
She was good for them in that third quarter as well, Maloney. Boundary throw in Clark, beautiful. To Bode. Now Burns attacks it. Ran into Ling, Milburn. Ablett's found a bit of space in the middle. Needs a good bounce here. Chapman says, keep coming, I'll tap it. He does that beautifully. Ablett with speed. Line up for goal number 3. Ordinary kick off the boot, though. Grubbed it, and Begley happy to see the boundary.
There's great understanding between Chapman and Ablett. I don't know if they're good mates, Dwayne, or not, but
they both live at Torquay, or they did, and drove to training together for about 3 years when, well, for a couple while Gary Jr. didn't have his licence.
And they're on the same page, that's for sure.
Ball back into play. Ablett speaking of the same page. It's the big page. He's got 3.
That's it, kid. You can do it. Now, come on, kid. You gotta want it. Faster, stronger. You got the speed. Well, have you got the power? Yeah, go. That's it. Pick it up, pick it up. Gotta want. You're ready, kid. You're ready.
Toyota RAV4 with a 2.4-liter PVTi engine. It's been beefed up.
Ablett's got 3. And have a look at this. Just made it happen. Great skills on both sides of his body. And he's kicked his 3rd.
Matthew Bode, Brian. Matthew Bode. He's either a defender or a free-running midfield. Right now he's got a job when the ball's deep in their defence. He had to be tighter.
32-point advantage for the Cats. Early, final quarter, Stenglein. John Cock gets it inside 50. Got to kick a goal from this. Carey takes his first mark. 5 minutes into this final quarter.
He's got 1 behind for the afternoon. It's 3 kicks and a handball. That's about it for the afternoon.
Wayne Carey directly in front.
He'll kick this, Brian. He's a class act still.
35 metres out. Comes in. The kick. Wayne Carey on the way. Nurses and eases it through. And Adelaide have kicked a goal.
Radio Rentals is making a big splash! You can buy now and pay no interest until 2007. Buy a new TV, plasma or LCD TV and pay no interest until 2007. Splash out on a new computer and pay no interest until 2007. And get a dishwasher with a bonus dinner set or a new fridge and pay no interest until 2007. Dive into SA's biggest electrical retailer and pay no interest until 2007. Now that's big!
266 games, Wayne Carey. 709 goals and a few misses. 448 behinds. Picked up by Bode in the midfield. Goes wide, hoping for and finding John Cock. They're not out of this yet, Adelaide. Spearing pass, hoping for Carey again. And the front spot ahead of Rashudo. Scarlett takes a strong mark.
Identified that Rashudo is a danger man and Scarlett goes straight onto him.
Ordinary kick, put Mooney under the pump though. Now Sanderson. Now they find time wide. Raleigh in the back pocket. Elects to go straight up the middle. Looking for Milburn. Front was Jericho. The tackle applied by that man. Now they can go again. Chapman finds space. Looking for it to bounce up to him. Got it to happen on the second attempt. Driving kick inside 50. Haynes. Ball on the deck. Mackey. High tackle. Free. Centre half for Geelong. Andrew Mackey bends it inside 50. Mark has been taken, has it? Johnson has been paid. No. Umpire Hayden Kennedy, one of the most experienced in the business, says...
Oh, gee, David
no.
Johnson.
Don't know why.
Unlucky?
Yep. Nevertheless, ball up.
They used to pay those to the man in front once upon a time. Ball knocked out of the pocket. Hands and knees, Milburn cut. Thread a handball out, and we will get a ball up.
Wouldn't have been a jump ball, Wayne. That would have been a ball up. Little birdie whispered to me. They've done well on the clearances, Adelaide, here, I see, but, gee, Geelong still holds sway.
Yes, enough of those Americanisms into our game of beautiful AFL football. Australian rules as the umpire calls for another jump ball.
Stephen Grun listed there as one of the umpires. He came off at three-quarter time, of course, with that injury. And was replaced by Brett Rosebery. Ball up, attacking 50. Bassett. Out of trouble. Trying to keep in front there. Henschel, no good. Umpire ball it up very close to the boundary line again.
You might have perhaps expected a previous number 16 for the Cats to come off after a little bit of contact with this one here, Charlie Gardner. He has a go.
McGregor, Milburn, the punch. Jericho and Burton combining. They're under enormous pressure, the Adelaide Crows. Bott bangs it high, Mooney marks. Looks for Raleigh, side door. Now he'll drive it long. Cats have got a couple. Haynes, off hands, free kick. Haynes has got it. Directly in front. 25 metres out, but the wind has once again picked up. And even though he's directly in front, he'll really have to nail this to make sure it goes through the tall ones. Haynes, just the one goal coming today, and that was in that flurry of goals in the third quarter that Geelong kicked. In comes Haynes, put it out the left, and once again he kicked it too hard for the wind to have any effect on it, and a minor score. Let off for the Crows.
Big let off, wasn't it?
It's difficult to see the Adelaide Crows winning from here, but 51 to 78, it's been done before with 13 and a half minutes on the clock. Time is their enemy as well. Begley Virtually straight down the middle, McGregor. Hands and knees, dishes out a handball in the Bassett direction. Stingline missed it. Chapman fell. Bode off the deck. Gathered some valuable meterage. Johncock beaten for it by Hunt. Well played. Mooney wide the tenacity, uses pace. Can go the long option. Drop punt. Heading towards the behinds. Just the minus score.
Yeah, well, all this has been going on. Andrew McLeod has been sitting on the interchange bench, which is, I find, got to say, quite staggering. I'm not sure if there's an injury problem. He's had 6 possessions for the afternoon. He's had little or no influence on the game. And this thing is slipping away from Adelaide with just a touch over 13 minutes to be played.
79-51. Crows have been under fire for the last 5 minutes. Graham marks the defensive kick in. And on a normal day without wind, he'd be certainly within distance. Is he today? He thinks not if he's trying to give it off. Ben Graham. My advice would be to have a go.
Why not, Brian?
65, centering ball. Chapman's got to go back. He's got it. Gives it to the runner Ling. He kicked one from here in the third. Lines this one up. Trips it in. Got his third as Cameron Ling.
Mate, I really like your sunnies.
Oh, really? What do you like about them?
The way they cover up your face.
Been paid out lately? Keno. With over 250,000 winners every month, you could win it by the minute.
The new Submariner, 100% Australian fish fillet from Subway. Made with your choice of garden fresh salads any way you like it. The new Submariner. It's the catch of the day and it's fresh from Subway. Eat fresh.
3 goals to Cameron Ling. The Geelong Falcons management decided to cut his hair, lose a bit of weight, and they shortened the legs of his shorts by about 1 inch to try and make his legs look longer and his pace a little quicker, and he got drafted after being ignored the year prior. Stingline kicks to half forward and Johncock takes the mark.
What do they do? Shortening the shorts?
Shorten the legs of his shorts. Johncock long to Carey.
It's quite staggering, that revelation.
Gee. This kick to keep the Crows with a slim chance.
It is very, very slim. This is the second mark, going for his second goal in the space of 5 minutes.
He'll have to start it right. We've seen them bend severely left all afternoon. He'll virtually have to kick it at the goalpost. And that is a gem. Wayne Carey keeps the Crows with a sniff.
So, I'm in the middle of nowhere. And bang! A snake jumps out and hits me. So I reckon I'm an hour from town, with half an hour to get there, and the country's as rough as guts. 5 minutes in, things start getting weird. I could feel the poison pumping through my body. My head was all over the place. Lucky the cruiser wasn't. In anything else, I would have been stuffed.
Wayne Carey has kicked a couple in the last 5 minutes and gives the Adelaide Crows some hope. 28 points down at the moment. Kelly can't afford to let Geelong kick another one. Chapman, blistering speed, long ball, offline.
Geez, boy, he had Cameron Ling running in support again. Now, he was terrifically unselfish earlier. Why wouldn't he give it again to Ling running on his left foot, knowing that he's kicked beautifully today? It's been good, Chapman. Just thought that that would have been the decision then.
Straight down the middle. Time is of the essence. McGregor, front of the pad. Bode, front and square. Now Burton. High, wobbly, difficult. Good knock away by Kelly. Almost half trip by Bode. That's a free. Oh, and he gave him one too on the way through. Just a little one to the navel. Chapman. Milburn's free inside 50, and that is the most kickable pocket on the ground. He goes short. Kingsley hasn't had a massive afternoon. Ken Kingsley, an ex-teammate of Wayne Carey. Here's Ken Kingsley.
Airy. That was an airy.
Short pass from Kingsley is good, just sharing it, opening up the angle. And Charlie Gardner in that number 16 you mentioned, Gary. You saw the old number 16 at half-time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. He delivered a couple of very nice, tasty hamburgers. He's on the hamburger run from the Cadinia Cafe, he told me. I reckon he'd be a pretty regular patron now, William Brownless. He kicked plenty of goals, though, on this ground for his beloved Cats.
This would be the knockout punch, you would think. 10 minutes left on the clock, and he wastes a few more seconds, which are just as valuable as scores. Drop punt, it's the straightest wobbly kick you'd ever wish to see. It cuts it home.
Radio Rentals is making a big splash! The Big Wash sale is back at Radio Rentals with 3 big bonuses. Rent or buy any washing machine and get a bonus 3 months worth of Omo, plus a bonus set of towels, plus a minimum $100 trading on any working washer. Plus, you can buy now and pay no interest until 2007, but you can only dive into Radio Rentals' Big Wash sale for a limited time. Now that's big!
So the Cats, a very timely goal, his second, Gardner. And it looks like they're going to get home here today. Back in the middle, Playfair. Chapman showing plenty in this last quarter. Out of the middle, the catch, precision. Mackie on the lead, couldn't mark. Kingsley was shepherded off. Massey had to go and win it. And in the end, players converge. Ball up.
Young players have stood up really well for Geelong today. Maloney we saw early in the piece. Riley's been good. Mackey's been great.
Out of trouble with the high ball from Henschel. Ling got on the end of it. Burton now. A quick gift to McLeod, who, as Gary mentioned, surprisingly was on the bench for a period in this last quarter. Ball out wide. Geelong next week have got Hawthorn. And there is Gary Ablett Jr. So a real opportunity for Geelong to improve their position.
And the Demons here the week after. Ball back into play. Free kick, Henry Playfair. Did he get it or give it away? He gave it away. Hudson. Begley. Carey on the move with Rashudo. That's a good mark. Front of the pack. That's why he's the All-Australian full-back.
Had kicked 2 early goals, Rashudo. The last 2 times the ball has gone down there since Scarlett has been moved on him. Scarlett's outmarked him twice.
Nearly died of a collapsed lung, young Scarlett as a kid, and has followed in his father's footsteps at this great club, Geelong. Gardner, Shaw, Chapman, under a bit of pressure, holds his ground, takes it strongly.
He had the fist clenched to go.
Not sure what that's all about.
Ready to go down low to the breadbasket if necessary. Chapman short. Finds his man in Johnson.
Well, all that is left today is for a Ben Graham 75-metre torpedo. At some stage we'll pull the games out, and it's been a pretty good afternoon for Geelong fans.
Indeed. David Johnson. Ben Graham in his 200th, of course. McGregor at the back. Burton running support as rain, heavy as it is, starts to fall again. Burton has kicked it out of bounds on the full, and the wind has reached new heights.
Well, no one can blame Brett Burton. He has worked his backside off. He's had 31 possessions, probably not the damage you might do, but 31 times getting the footy, Brian's a great effort, and he has discarded about 3 or 4 opponents in the process.
It is windy, cold and wet as we speak. Corey looking for the lead there of Playfair, and got his run up a little mixed up and off balance.
Are you going home in that chopper as well, Gary?
Because I won't be giving you a lift.
The stretch limo will be just over. I'll be getting on in the back of your motorbike.
Ball back to the play. Chapman as we go down to a man who's loving being in the rain. Michael Roberts.
It's a shocker now. It's really picked up, as BT said. It's horizontal rain. Actually just dropped off a little bit, but not pleasant down here.
Yes, it's even blowing your hair, Robert. That's how strong it is now. Bode to McGregor. Rolls it to the wing, but to Ling on the wing. Nice little hand off to Hunt. Spearing pass from him. Burton flies high. Couldn't bring the mark down. Pack forms. And Kelly neither wanted to get rid of it nor let someone else have it, but he'll have to give it up now to the umpire.
We've become accustomed to that from Brett Burton throughout the course of his career.
Big leap. Big leap. Gee. Ball up. Not much happening, so we'll have another one. And the players would just be happy now to get off the ground from both sides. Yep.
If they went to their captains and said early finished for the afternoon, they both agree.
As the Cats' next four, Hawthorn, Melbourne, Essendon and Port Adelaide over there in Football Park. And a free kick is paid here. Kick is on the way and has missed to the right-hand side.
It's a big decision play on advantage when the bloke's 40 metres out.
Yes.
With a free kick.
And you can't make judgment calls on whose hand the ball's in either.
It's an ace with the behind.
Bassett to Massey, who started well, but a quiet second half.
First touch in the second half, Wayne, in actual fact.
And he's not Robinson Caruso there with his quiet half of football.
He had 17 in the first half, his highest ever, and I don't know whether he thought, well, that'll do me for the afternoon.
Scott Stevens, another one who started well but has faded. 2 goals in the opening term. Goes long inside, 50 to Rashuto. Harley was held.
Thanks, Carey.
And Harley, an ex-Adelaide boy from Norwood and Port Adelaide, happy to have a win against the boys from his old home state.
Harley to Sanderson. Stevens knocked it down to Ronnie Burns. Back to Stevens. Never a hope if you head straight for goal for there. You must hang it out right from that position. Now of a boundary throw in deep in the Adelaide attacking 50. Nigel Smart still playing South Adelaide back in South Australia. Wasn't even in the squad of 25 for this game, Gary. So
and was best last week, I think, too, for his local SANFL club.
We believe so. So maybe they're saying he needs a bit of fitness for a set period of time, or else they're saying his career's over. Umpire playing the advantage here, which allows the Cats to move it swiftly through the middle. Haynes.
Great effort.
It was. Got an arm there. Kingsley now wants an end-over-end ball bouncing towards the goal. It's there. Really well placed. Kingsley gets his first of the day, and the Cats fans are happy.
Seven seats, with a third row that falls flat under the floor for maximum cargo space. Advanced 172 kilowatt V6 VVTi engine. Vehicle stability control. Traction control. Introducing the all-new Toyota Kluger all-wheel drive, the ultimate crossover. Where you take it is up to you.
First goal for Ken Kingsley. You doubt, as Haynes shows that effort Gary was talking about, you doubt he would have made the distance from 53 in the air.
Yeah.
And he knew what he was doing, Ken Kingsley. Both his parents, school teachers, obviously a very educated man as to the role of the ball. Dowdy, caught by Milburn, and gets a free kick.
There's a chance here, 5 minutes in, bit of party time maybe for the Cats to push on here.
John Cock couldn't bring the mark down Ling, who was part of that move to get the Cats back into the game. Kick finds Burton, though. Short pass from him. And Jericho just outside 50 for the Crows.
Look to get it to Carey. There he is on the lead. He ignores that and he goes long. Clark at the back for danger. Strong attempt at mark. Dropped it in the end. Now it's Hunt. Through traffic, Sanderson. Able to accelerate away. Goes wide. Gardner slipped over. Allowing the Crows Henschel to come in and tidy up and finds Ronnie Burns. 4.25 minutes left in the game. 99-57. Dowdy, that true half forward for the Adelaide Crows. Will drive it and straighten it up somewhat. Stenglein drops in, takes a juggling mark. Is he within range? He'll have to kick it about 47 metres directly in front. So Stenglein with a couple of bites of the prune there and able to tidy it up. And now the confronting task of dealing with this right to left wind or gale as it has been on some occasions today. Mason Stenglein, a bit of it in the first half. In he comes, hasn't kicked a goal today. Kick on the way, it's drifting left now. Hit the post. 58-99 Geelong's way.
And that tells the tale somewhat Crows have just been the slightest bit off, and the Cats have made them pay since about the 10-minute mark of the opening term. Hutt. Will he go with the breeze and long, or to the attacking side? The attacking side he comes to. High kick, and that's a pretty good mark taken by Stengline, who's too far up to score for sure this time. Doughty. Just consolation time at the moment. Crows can't win, and the Cats will move closer to an entry inside the 8. Carey waits back. Big mark's been taken by Harley.
Gee, that was a great stretch. Out wide, Milburn, Ling, and they've got the loose player further downfield. Tenace can use him. Now Doughty mans him up. Didn't travel 10, so the umpire called play on no mark. Ling gets it back to Milburn, short to Sanderson. Cats playing a bit of possession ball now. Haven't fiddled around with it too much today, the Cats. Hutt and Mooney. Instructions being issued from Cam Mooney. And
Begley tries to respond. New York Jets, here you come. He did admit during the week on radio that he will go over and have a try when his AFL career is over. Bassett long to the wing, and a big stump out of play.
Isn't that, if you're ticking off, you know, on your menu today, what do you want to see happen? First of all, you want Geelong to win. You want to see a bit of Gary Ablett brilliance at some stage. You want Ben Graham to get an early kick. He kicked the first goal. And then when it's all said and done, the last minute, you want to see him kick an 80-metre torpedo. I reckon they walk away with value for money today.
Adelaide supporters would walk away with much, Gary.
No, their menu was a bit light on.
That's an ace, who's looked good again this afternoon. Inside 50, Haynes, one grab, not the second. Bock, inside 2 minutes to full time. Pumps it wide, and unfortunately for Adelaide, they just haven't had enough four-quarter performance. And Geelong has had a lot of very, very good ones, and Hutt being one of them. Gave it to Sanderson, gives to Mooney, chip kick. Well, it wasn't meant for, but it finds Tenace.
42 points, the Cats. All over the top to Corey, able to run. McLeod, blistering pace, ran him down in the nick of time, because Corey was focused on the big sticks. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
7 possessions for Andrew McLeod. Probably the least influence I've seen him have on a game that I've witnessed, an Adelaide game.
Reasonable crowd here today. Skilled stadium, just over the 18,000, 224 thereabouts. Boundary throw in. Geelong forward end of the ground. And just over a minute remaining in the game. The Cats, in this last quarter, have kicked 4 goals to Adelaide and Carey's 2. Boundary throw-in. Graham doing the ruck work. Fell short. Milburn went and got it. Lock hands. I think it's gone over the line out of bounds. And we'll do it all again.
They've been promising for a while, the Cats. Young players on the improve. Maybe they are turning the corner. Ball back into play. Close to the boundary line, McLeod. And it has been only a quiet afternoon, as Gary said. Bode there with you.
Doesn't get any easier for Adelaide. Dwayne, they've got Port at home next week, then Essendon at home, Collingwood. So a tough 2 weeks at least, perhaps even a 3rd week for them.
Yes, it doesn't get much tougher than the showdown. But then again, they win that. They've played their way straight back into form. As McLeod takes it out of play again, not deliberate according to the umpire. And we'll get another ball in. Andrew McLeod, whose mother is an Islander, but his father's from Waverley in Melbourne. Before he went up north and decided to enjoy the warmer weather.
To me, like, there's been something bothering Andrew McLeod today. Some sort of injury or illness. Doesn't look his normal self. Jericho went without it. And ball back in. Letting rip Haynes, long ball. Kingsley couldn't mark. And just the minor score.
Kevin Bartlett's here. I don't think he is. He was at Richmond's game on Friday night. It was great to see.
Danger here. Bassett shifts. And luckily for him, Massey made it look okay. Just running down the clock now. It's all over for the Adelaide Crows. McGregor gets on the end of that long kick from Henschel. Chips it to Bassett. Maybe a chance for a consolation prize here for the Crows. 10 seconds and counting. Bode runs like a little dog on lino. A lot of steps, not a lot of ground. Kicks to half forward. Doughty waits under it, and that'll do it. Benny Graham, his 200th. And the Cats, maybe a finals chance this year. 42-point winners against a team that is maybe more vulnerable than they ever have been, the Adelaide Crows.
Well, you would suggest on today's performance that one team's heading north and the other one, after being very competitive and, well, one of the really good sides of the past 10 years or so, maybe just on the slide. But we've learned a lesson here today. Perhaps don't write too much into the first few weeks of an AFL season. Let's head down to a man who I thought was the best player on the ground, Cameron Ling with Michael Roberts.
Thanks, Gary. And Cameron, we see the bandaged elbow there. Bit of a flesh wound, or what happened there?
Yeah, mate, just a bit of a knock right at the first bounce, actually. But no, fine now. Also, I kept it warm during the game, no worries at all.
Let's walk with your teammates. A couple of nice left-footers off the wing here as well. Kicked 3 for today. It was a beautiful effort.
Yeah, mate, I was happy with that. Yeah, it was good to kick a couple of goals. I haven't kicked too many for a while, so that was nice. And it was fantastic effort by the boys, I reckon. We need the win down here. All the boys put in a terrific effort. And super conditions to play football, wasn't it? How difficult was it? Lovely, mate, lovely. I think the wind's not the best down here, but I thought we handled it all right, which is good, but yeah, not the best day for footy.
Well done today.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. There's Michael Roberts walking Cameron Ling away from his teammates. He thought they were actually coming off the ground, but the Geelong team just going over to thank their supporters. A good turnout of Geelong supporters to celebrate Ben Graham's 200th game of AFL football, and just praying it's acknowledging their support. Cameron Ling, a terrific afternoon. A lot to like about this, and that's what I say, Brian, is that maybe after 4 or 5 weeks, or even 3 or 4 weeks, we the media, made a hasty judgment on a team that is still finding their feet.
Perhaps, Gary, I was just sidetracked a little while you were asking that question, because I was watching Gary Ayres leave the arena, and boy, was he copping a fair bit from the old supporters down here, of which I think he coached around about 120-odd games. But look, the Cats are just starting to find their feet now. The media and press were very, very hard on them early in the year, but starting to happen for them a little now.
Yes, and let's see. Hope that Michael Roberts has got the man who's played his 200th game. Let's hope they're walking in the right direction this time, Robbo.
We are. We're heading straight for the rooms. Now, Benny, you're searching for the ball. You want the ball for the 200.
Oh, no, I'm sure they got it.
How was that sensational? What about the talk? Take us through that, 80 metres out. Give the crowd a bit of a thrill. You got onto it.
Well, I said I was going to, but I can't work it out because the wind's coming this way and it did not move off its trajectory one little bit. Where are the footy gods? But no, it was a good win. Good effort by the boys.
The footy was moving around today, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's very blustery conditions, but we kicked pretty well, so, you know, just a good win all round.
Tell me, how important is it to get a win on a milestone like this?
Oh, that's beautiful. Couldn't ask anything more.
Well done, buddy.
Thanks.
Ben Graham, the 200 game man, who's about to be raised on the shoulders of his teammates. They want to be pretty strong, I reckon. They got the big fellas up, Mooney and Harley. And a bit of a crowd favourite, Dwayne Russell. You would have played some footy with Ben Graham.
Yes. Post me, Gary, but
that's right, you are older.
I am getting older by the minute, but maybe it's the new Geelong, even though Ben Graham is one of their good old players. It's the new Geelong, perhaps, that he is leading at the moment. Not captain. He had that taken from him. It was given to Stephen King, but Ben Graham, who's had some high highs and low lows in those 200 games, certainly has something to celebrate this afternoon. It was a very good win to Geelong.
And Peter Riccardi, of course, who was a late withdrawal, Brian. You would have been impressed that they were able to get over the top of the Adelaide side without one of their more experienced players. We're going to stay with the Cats as they allow us into the inner sanctum here and sing the song and celebrate Ben Graham's 200 games. But Peter Riccardi out, late withdrawal, Brian.
Yeah, well, in the end, it didn't hurt them, Gary, because they got up and won convincingly without him. So that's a good sign for the Cats going forward, and their youngsters were instrumental in that win.
You want to head off? You want to get on that motorbike and head off down the road?
Oh, I'm going to go shortly as soon as my day's work is finished, Gary.
No, we'll just stick with us because this will be a rousing rendition, I would imagine, of the Geelong theme song with Big Ben Graham in the middle. Here we go.
The greatest team of
Yes, and a magnificent victory for the Geelong Cats here at Skilled Stadium. They've knocked off Adelaide to the tune of 43 points.
Yeah, how big that is. It makes Bert's head look small.
He's signed by all the Collingwood players, and you can get on at www.ebay.com.au.
What
and there's
would
the
you
bits.
do with that?
They closed, don't know.
You'd take it home and you'd cuddle it.
You're very man. Big games coming up for the rest of the weekend. Of course, 3 games tomorrow. One of them is between Melbourne and the Bulldogs, and we know who Neil Danaher thinks is going to win.
Yes, and of course the service at Telstra Dome has come under scrutiny, especially after last week's Collingwood-Geelong game. A lot of people slipping over, and even the surfaces around the ground are under scrutiny.
Really? Yeah.
Driving into the Telstra Dome has become difficult. Take a look at this tonight. This is, I mean, that's Cameron Ling trying to get into the ground last week. Shouldn't be happening.
No, they should have had them.
Not at this level.
Cars should have had the long stops on, shouldn't they?
Geelong and Sydney tomorrow, of course. The Cats
And the Swans haven't played at Skilled Stadium for 4 years.
They've been scheduled to play there, they just couldn't be bothered.
Imagine that. I wonder how many players haven't actually been there from Sydney.
Yeah, yeah, they might.
Get a bit of a fright.
Pretty weird. Could be a big factor.
It might be Barry Hall and Matthew Scarlett. Will we see it, or will it be Tom
Nah,
Harley?
it'll be Scarlett, you think?
Yeah?
Scarlett will start on Hall, no doubt about that.
But they're good friends, apparently.
They're good mates.
Very close.
Don't want them to get too close on the footy field.
All right,
No,
Hawthorn.
you wouldn't want that, would you, Sam?
Hawthorn and Port Adelaide. Why is everyone cheering?
Well, I don't know why they're cheering, but
Good on 'em.
Hawthorn are going to get flogged, aren't they?
You think so?
Yeah,
I'm predicting an upset.
You are predicting upset.
Hawthorn will get within 20 goals.
They drew a line in the sand, didn't they, quite a while ago? The line was drawn in the sand, yes. And Dermot Breton fired the clock. They've been so fired up. Here's a women's match involving Hawthorn recently, all right? Look how fired up these Hawthorn women are. They're fired up. Have a look. Oh, my God. It's not over yet.
Oh, they go!
Wow.
That is fantastic.
That is amazing.
And I do hear, actually, I do hear the AFL have actually called for a video of that incident, not for suspension, just for the Bucks party.
I think Dermy was in the rooms at half-time asking for advice on his hair, actually.
There you go.
But Hawthorn, Port Adelaide, anyone, this Hawthorn got a chance in. Helena, you're a Hawthorn supporter, are you going to back them in?
Yeah, Port Adelaide have a bad record at the MCG.
No, but
I mean, we're hoping Port treat this like a final, and then we might be able to win.
But Hawthorn have never beaten Port Adelaide on the MCG.
That's right, we got very close last year, but Pickett won the game for Port in the dying minutes.
They're not going to win, Lemo.
Let me have some hope.
Football will be the winner, let's never forget.
He will be the winner. We want to thank Neil Danaher for coming in, Heath Scotland, Drew Pitcher, Nick D'Alessandro. This is football!
This program proudly brought to you by Toyota, Harvey Norman, there's a store near you, and Subway, eat fresh.
When Jessica's away,
Nick goes out to play.
Dude, what look good in this? She thinks he's at home.
But can a night this wild be kept secret?
You're lying right now. You're avoiding me. Newlyweds, 6:30 Sunday.
Winning the fight against crime, how science is tipping the balance.
Victims feel more hopeful about justice being done.
Out of time, criminals with nowhere to hide. Monday night at 5.
Hi, I'm Natalie Cook. I started playing volleyball at primary school and went on to win an Olympic gold medal. Now you can start by playing mini volleyball and enter the Spike Zone. Discover mini volleyball with Volleyball Australia and get into the Spike Zone. It's fun, safe and designed especially for you. Go to spikezone.com.au or contact Volleyball SA now for more information.